Oh, should we had set this up for Corey's channel? Damn it.
Well, I don't know if you can stream to his channel while we're in the middle of streaming.
Where is his channel? I think I can. I guess whenever he gets on.
I still have that crazy message.
Then it's not the Roku. Then it's.
I don't get it. I do not understand why this is happening.
I am turning it back on because I don't want to miss anything.
So weird.
Just waiting for anyone to come on. Na, 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 na.
Oh man, I'm behind on collecting a list of
You'll be fine.
Other notable movies for '94.
You'll be fine.
What's the number one notable movie on your list?
Well, if you mean the at the box office,
yeah.
Box
the number one at the box office was The Lion King.
Ah.
But that's not my favorite.
I'll probably have to look at it later once the kitten comes down. I don't want to be at the keyboard and him jump up there. He really loves the keyboard.
Yeah. Our rats love the keyboard too until their little fingers get smushed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were talking about Simone Biles today.
What happened with her?
Okay, so I think she might have slightly hurt herself, but there's Colin.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Colin.
How's it going?
How are you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing okay. We're Arture's distracted with the Olympics. I'm distracted because my network, I keep getting this message on StreamYard that the connection is unstable, even though we have really fast internet. I don't know what the heck is up.
Well, now it's gone up a little bit.
I love the Olympics. I've been watching them too.
He won't be able to. John
hey, Joe. Okay, that's all right. No problem. No problem.
Yeah, I was talking about
Simone. What happened to her?
Well, they're making it as if she might have hurt herself, but she also stepped down because of mental health.
I told you I felt like there was a lot of strain on her.
Yeah, it's surprising.
You know, I've seen it happen time and again. These athlete will go into the Olympics and there's all this expectation on them that they are just going to come home with a medal and they crash and burn. Super elite athletes, and yet they just, it's like the pressure gets to be too much. I had a feeling this was going to happen to her.
Yeah.
Maybe she just wanted to save herself for the all-round.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I'm so excited for the all-round. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most fun.
It's my favorite part. The women's gymnastics, my favorite part of the Olympics.
Yeah.
The swimming have been fun. I like the swimming part.
Swimming is fun.
The skateboarding one was actually really good too.
I watched that.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
We watched the men's. I didn't watch the women.
I didn't see the women.
It was, you know, who won gold and silver were 13-year-olds.
They were both 13.
They were both 13.
Yeah.
They were little babies. Oh my god.
Awesome. Man.
Yeah, at some point the swimming's going to happen live. At some point,
you're going to be distracted, Arturo. I mean, are you going to be connecting with us?
I could do both.
You keep turning around and
That's
looking.
funny because I was almost like, man, if they have some really good tonight, I might step out for a minute. But like, I think it's okay tonight. I can miss.
What's up tonight? What's going on tonight for primetime show?
Swimming's going to happen for the gold. I think Haley Decky might go to for a gold.
Ledecky? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. There's all these different races, and I can't keep track. Oh, there's Mike.
There's
Adam, sir. Hey, Mike.
Hey, sorry I'm late. Sorry.
That's okay. Oh, it's okay. We haven't even started yet because we've been a little distracted. Arturo's distracted by the internet. I'm distracted by tech stuff going on with my computer. So we haven't even started the discussion
Internet.
yet.
I'm distracted by the Olympics.
I know. He's turning around and looking behind him. I don't know if he's going to be. Maybe we should have done this after the Olympics.
No, the show must go on.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm going to be distracted a little bit because I do have to take care of something soon. So I might have to leave early. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right, Mike. This is not compulsory.
Well, no, but it is a very interesting topic to join with y'all, nonetheless.
Yeah, movies.
You have to
we
give us like your top 3 before you go.
Oh,
Right,
absolutely.
make sure to do that. Don't forget.
Alrighty.
Well, we could go ahead and begin now. We're going to be discussing 94. Now, this was a big year for films in general, so we got a lot of big ones to talk about. So, number
Did you
one,
watch True Lies?
I did.
Yeah.
That was something. That
For the
was something.
first time ever, and he was completely. What were
Okay,
you, Arturo?
Okay, I was expecting it was more into like a bit of the serious part, like serious movie type, taking
Yeah.
down these terrorists, but no, they throw these comedic stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, wait, what?
Come on.
Arturo was not prepared for that. Kind of like with Demolition Man, he thought it was going to be more gritty and raw and everything, and yet there was all this comedy in it.
Yeah, I was like that. This is twice now that I watched a movie that I thought was going to be something like this, but then it turned out to be a bit more of this instead. So it caught me off guard, but
So Timothy called me before the stream, and I told him that you had watched True Lies for the first time last night, and he pointed out something to me that I've never paid attention to in that movie, but now that I know about it, that's all I'm going to be able to see, and it's the scene where at the very beginning where he's running away and these two Dobermans come after him and they jump up at him and he takes their heads and smashes their heads together and then they fall to the ground.
Yeah.
Well, when they fall to the ground, if you look at them, it's so obvious that they're dummies.
Yeah.
They're like all wobbly and floppy and everything.
Yeah.
It's like now that's all I can notice. And we were talking about how surprising it was that James Cameron let that slip through. I mean, as much of a perfectionist as he is,
That's funny.
I guess he figured people wouldn't notice. Like, I've watched this movie several times. I never paid attention to that part.
That's amazing. Yeah. When you think like they won't notice, you're like, how will they not notice that? But then like it works.
Yeah,
Totally.
eventually people do notice things like
as
that.
long as it's if you watch it multiple times, definitely.
Right.
But
Yeah.
those are the best kind of effects because no matter how serious they try to make it, it's always funny to see when it's like, oh, it's clearly a dummy.
Yeah, like they're carrying someone up a hill or something and their legs are all stiff like
Right.
so bad.
But yeah, True Lies. I mean, I guess you could say it's a jolly good old time. And then just
It's so clever. It's just so much fun.
Just the fact that he had all this resources to deal with the fact that maybe his wife and whoever hasn't seen it, this is a spoiler warning, but I would highly advise watch the movie because it's really glorious, but he gets this big resource of
the agency that he works with. Yeah.
To look into the fact that his wife may be cheating on him.
It's got like helicopters following him in the sky.
Yeah.
They do the SWAT raid on the house.
and every time a cop or one of the choppers said, "Oh yeah, she's really laying on his lap."
Yeah, that's right, because the guy had put her head down in his lap, and Arnold was just freaking out. It was so funny. And then when one of the cops because the cops that come in to do the SWAT thing, they'd have no clue. They just think it's a bunch of bad guys. So when she tries to make a break for it, one of the cops smacks her in the back of the head, and then Arnold punches the cop.
Yeah.
And so, didn't one of them get? Oh yeah, didn't she hit it? Yeah,
she hit his friend. Yeah, she picked his friend in that place. And
but I thought that, I was thinking to myself, so what happened to it's all getting into his life now. I'm like, okay,
his personal life,
personal life. But yeah,
it
was really fun.
I would have loved to have seen that one on the big screen. I regret that I never saw it.
And his wife, Linda Hamilton.
No.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis, honey.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
I liked her in that movie. She was tough.
She was really good. I was telling Arturo, you know that scene where she thinks it's when Arnold sends her on this mission, but she doesn't know it's her husband. She has no idea. It's just like he's trying to set up this little romantic rendezvous between them. And so she goes in the hallway and she sees how she looks. She's got this lace stuff on her arms, and she tears it off, and she tears off the lace on her the bottom of her skirt, and then she takes this water and she slicks her hair, and it's like it completely transforms her.
Yeah.
She doesn't even look like the same person hardly. I mean, she goes from just this little dowdy-looking housewife to this
So
really
confident.
smoking hot,
We believe that she's so confident. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's given the looks, you know. She's like,
Yeah.
I do remember seeing some of this film when I was like really younger, and at the time my mind was kind of processing it as kind of a like really serious and
thought it
kind
was
of
more serious.
gory.
Yeah.
But after watching it now, it's like okay.
Yeah. It's like I feel like that was peak Arnold. Like I feel like he never hit that height again. I mean, okay,
No.
T was peak Arnold, but that was the last like top.
Really good. Yes, I absolutely agree. I think that was also James Cameron's last excellent movie because I don't like Avatar and Titanic. You know what he said? Did I talk about this on our last live stream? He said that when he wrote the screenplay for Terminator 2, he was high on, I think he said ecstasy.
No, wow.
And so the very first thing I thought was that okay, he must have gone clean when he wrote Titanic and Avatar. I think.
Yeah. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
I thought that was kind of funny.
More drugs.
Hi, Chris. How you doing? We're talking about Arnold, of course.
Good evening.
It's Arnold.
I know.
Hey, wait, did he say something in here that just like
he says all those crazy little puns, you know, like you're fired or something.
The final scene, you're fired.
Yeah.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, he talked about in his autobiography that they did that. Obviously, the writers, he had asked the writers early on in his career when these little ridiculous one-liners, he would throw them out in his movies, and it was really popular with the audiences. They liked that, so he told his writers, or whatever project he was working on, try to put one of those crazy puns in there, you know, and so that became part of his like his trademark. Yes, I know. I could talk for hours about Arnold movies. I really, honestly, I could. But we'll be here
for like 4 hours.
We have other movies for 1994, so there's lots more on the list.
Yeah, I was gonna say number 1 was Lion King.
Yeah. Big fan. Yeah. I was 9, so I was like the perfect age.
Me that was number 1.
That was my first movie in the theater.
First movie in the theater? I mean, perfect.
Oh, Corey's here. Hey, Corey.
We just talked about True Lies, and we're getting into Lion King.
I'm going to answer a question coming back to True Lies. You know what? The only Blu-ray available of True Lies is something from overseas, like Spain or England or something. They have it on Amazon, but I'm a little leery to get it because some people said it works fine, and on their DVDs, and other people said it doesn't. So
because I know DVD players, there's like 2 types or more, maybe 2. But my dad taught me this: like DVDs made in England or across seas, a lot of times don't work on DVD players.
Right.
American DVD.
Right. Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
Sometimes you can program your DVD player to accept all regions. There's like these little hacks, but I don't know about Blu-rays. So
it's kind of crazy that doesn't have a Blu-ray release.
Yeah. No. They need to do like a 30th edition special release or something. Or
that's one of the bigger movies that I can think of that doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Kindergarten Cop didn't have one up until not too long ago.
I just bought a Blu-ray of Kindergarten Cop today. Yeah. It was on sale for like super cheap at some website I'd never heard about, but Derek told me about it.
Oh, really?
Nice. Yeah. So I'm going to add that one to my collection.
I don't have that. I don't think on Blu-ray.
You have seen it, right?
Oh, yeah.
I see. Okay. That's what I thought, Arturo. He was a little concerned you hadn't seen it.
No. Yeah, I've seen it.
You mean True Lies?
Yes, True Lies.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one too. Yeah, I thought you meant Kindergarten.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I've seen True Lies. I think twice now. So
only twice. Wrong with you?
Yeah, I mentioned this to everybody else, Corey, but I went in kind of thinking it was going to be, pretty like serious, and then it ended up being where it was more like had more comedic stuff mixed in with the serious actors. I'm like, okay, I wasn't expecting.
Funny.
I
guess. I don't know.
I was gonna say with True Lies, it's like so many movies try to do what that movie does, which is just be like a funny action movie. But that movie does it perfectly. It's like a masterclass
Like
in
a
that genre or whatever. Which is like every year there's probably dozens of movies that come out just trying to do that. Essentially what that movie does.
They don't really make action movies like they used to, I feel like. I mean, that might be a cliche statement, but
I think it's true. Feels like it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like The Rock, but even his movies are not.
Well,
like,
a lot of them aren't
there's-
like big releases anymore. There's a lot of like low tier, you don't really hear about them, but they come. They're not as big deal anymore.
Yeah, and it seems like with The Rock, it's like there's no personal connection, or at least for me, to him, like Arnold.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
He can't capture Arnold's magnetism. I just don't. I like The Rock, but he just doesn't.
I mean, he's the only action star I can think of. Is why I'm going to him.
Right.
Like new action star.
Like like for this day and age.
Well,
really.
Chris Pratt is sort of kind of becoming something like that.
Yeah, I guess so. I
but
like
you guys seen
Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista.
Jason Momoa, yeah.
They're not as big names as Arnold, but they're like.
I think The Rock's the biggest name for sure.
For sure, The Rock for
name
sure.
value.
Yeah, and he's no Arnold, but he is. I do like him.
Yeah. He's fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see Jungle Cruise this Thursday night.
Yeah, I do kind of want. I would watch that.
That does look
curious about
that. Does look good. It's kind of got the Pirates of the Caribbean feel to it.
I don't know if releases have dropped for that yet, but another thing that actually surprises me that I'm going to go see that I wasn't expecting to see is The Green Knight. I've heard that that's spectacular. Well, these are official critics that say it, so that doesn't really mean anything. But there are people that have seen it already. Maybe they've had access to advanced screeners, and even they are saying that it looks pretty good. So I'm going to go see that early Friday.
And that one?
Has any reviews come out on Jungle Cruise yet, or no?
I have not seen if any have dropped. I'll check right now.
Yeah.
Green Knight does look really good, and I feel like A24 has been on a roll with their films lately.
A24. Okay, yeah. Corey, reviews have come out. The regular critics aren't loving it overly much. They're giving it a 70%.
Okay, well, I mean that's
decent.
That's only
Good.
79 reviews. I have a feeling the audience will probably enjoy it, but
probably.
Oh man, I haven't even heard of this Green Knight movie, and it looks kind of cool.
I did a reaction to the trailer for it well over a year ago, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll see it. But then I've started just hearing this buzz about it, so I'm thinking I'll go see it.
Yeah, any A24 is usually a hit for me, but they can be hit or miss.
Yeah,
like Midsummer.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
I didn't really like that one.
That was too violent.
Hate that movie.
That was my favorite movie of 2019.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's almost
some people really like it.
I get it, but it's like overtly.
I stopped halfway through because it was too disturbing. I just don't like disturbing.
It was just really, it was out there and ridiculous, and Florence Pugh annoyed the hell out of me in that movie.
But she's really good. She's really good in Black Widow.
To the point, I didn't like her character at all. And so I was transferring that dislike onto her as an actress because and I was like, so I wasn't excited about seeing her in Black Widow. Then I saw her in Black Widow, and she was the best part of the whole movie.
Right.
So,
she
is a really good actor.
Most A24 movies I see, I do like. So I don't want to be like that guy who doesn't like anything like that. But I know some are kind of artsy. But
yeah,
mid-90s. I don't know if anybody's seen that here. It's a pretty good one.
What's it called?
In mid-90s, Jonah Hill directed it. It's really just about a bunch of kids in the mid-90s that skateboard, but it's kind of like a coming of age type thing. Either way,
Sandlot.
But yeah, I was gonna get us back to the Lion King.
I know. Here we are. We jumped way off.
Lion King
came
out. Okay, so that's number one.
Yeah.
That
made a lot of money. $763 million. No,
good movie.
Million.
Really good movie.
2 or 3 times.
Not my favorite Disney movie, but I guess it's probably the most popular Disney movie of all time.
I mean, like Lion King and Toy Story, they're like kind of like my both favorite animated. Well, Lion King's like one of my favorite animated Disney movies, and then Toy Story would be my favorite 3D animated movie.
It's definitely dark. It's got a really dark and sad tone. I have sad memories associated with The Lion King because
I think
the first
everybody
time,
does. Yeah.
Well, but not just that. The first time I saw it was actually not until like late February of 1995. I'd bought a new car and I came home and I was watching the VHS of it, and then it was just a few weeks after that Selena got killed. And for some reason, I have this memory in my brain because that happened to be the same night that she had this big Houston Astrodome concert, or like around that time that I watched The Lion King. And for some reason, like I always associate The Lion King with Selena's death. That is weird. So it's kind of a downer movie.
What
it is, but
Disney. I wish they would more like darker tone animated movies now. Because if you go and look back, I mean, if you look throughout the years, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, there's a lot of dark tone. The Lion King. I can't really think of many newer ones. Like, I like some new ones. Like, I love Moana. Frozen not so much, but
it's not overly dark. Like The Princess and the Frog. Well, Coco is a little, but not. I mean, Coco is.
Princess and the Frog. I did like the villain in there. I mean, it's not overly dark, but
I thought it was a little dark near the end.
Yeah, it was a little.
Zootopia had some dark elements to it, I think. Like,
I guess I'm just missing the good like villain, like where the villain's almost the biggest part of the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Disney really cares to make villains anymore, but
like maybe their villains are feeling more stereotypical.
Right. I mean, you don't have villains
actually individual and interesting,
well,
like
Pirates
Scar
of the
in The
Caribbean.
Lion King.
Well,
I mean, he's talking about animated, I
like
thought.
Scar, Jafar, you know, all these different.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of
I think that's true. Yeah, I like a good villain too.
There's been a lot of like.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say there's been a lot of like retrospective film articles discussing about how there's a huge difference there's a huge difference in quality between Disney villains back then versus Disney villains now. Like, however, like now the ones are more forgettable.
Right. Yeah. But people were saying that about Marvel too, and it seems like they've kind of picked the ball up on that. How they didn't really have great villains, but the films were great,
Right.
Yeah. Because I mean, before Thanos, I mean, who's the big villain? I'm
trying to think of a really standout, interesting villain in a Marvel film. Not even Killmonger to me was all that amazing.
No, I mean I saw that movie once, so I can't really.
What about Loki?
Red Skull.
Loki.
I can't remember the comic book villains in the movie though. Like who was iconic that they had? Like Red Skull was iconic. But yeah, the Marvel villains, I agree, they weren't very memorable.
Anyway, we're getting back off topic.
I know. Here we go.
I want to say though about Lion King, because you mentioned Moana too. Lion King and Aladdin were like my favorite Disney movies forever because I saw them when I was like 8 and 9, and they were never topped until Moana came out. I watched that with my niece a few years ago, and
really good.
That movie is that's the best Disney movie ever. But I put it right up there with Aladdin and Lion King. I think it's the best.
It might be my favorite modern. Like, it's really good. But
it is good, and the songs are so catchy. Like, I love that song that The Rock sings. My nephew is absolutely obsessed with that movie.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Shiny by the crab. So shiny.
Did you see the post-credit scene of that after like Moana?
Did we?
I don't know.
I didn't know there was a post-credit scene.
There was, and it goes back to the crab, and he makes a reference. He's like, he's still like tipped over. He can't get back up. He's like, "Can somebody please help me?"
I do remember that. Yeah, I do.
Oh no, I'm sure that if I had a Jamaican accent and hung out with a mermaid, you'd probably help me. But no, okay, I understand.
That dude, the dude who does the crab's voice is awesome. I forget his name, the New Zealand guy. I love that guy.
Voice acting in Disney movies is generally on point.
Oh,
for
the Spanish
dubs are excellent. Like the Spanish dubs for Toy Story is amazing. It's so good. They sound exactly like the original characters, and of course because it's animated. Yeah, it's because it's animated. It doesn't. You can't really notice that the lip flaps don't match completely with the word.
Right.
So it
But
worked out really well.
see, that's the thing. I feel like I should save this for 95. We're kind of jumping a year, but I watched the Toy Story Spanish version only from like.
Yeah, that was the only one he had for years.
And I always remember they fit like that. The voice actors fit the characters really well.
The songs are really good. Cambios extraños caen en mí. Yeah, it's really, really good.
But
It's like speak Spanish growing up. I didn't know that.
Well, his father talked to him in Spanish, and then at some point he stopped because Arturo was a late speaker, and his dad was worried that he wasn't going to learn English. And we found out later that dyslexia can cause late speech. And so that was probably the primary reason. But by the time we learned this, my husband was too much out of the routine of speaking Spanish. So now Arturo has to try to learn it. And he's so upset about that.
I forgot, like your husband's from Mexico. So he's Spanish. So okay.
Yeah.
I was going to point out, like, Lion King, I still think animation wise still holds up pretty well. Like, I watched it on Blu-ray, like maybe 2 years ago, I think. And on the Blu-ray, you can kind of tell a little bit of age with some of the sketch, but it still looks like really nice.
Yeah.
Even now, I would think. It's really good animation.
Yeah.
And since we are in the 90s, I'm throwing up this documentary one more time, people.
What is this again?
Sleeping
that's the
Beauty.
one you mentioned before. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like the time's right now, though.
Now the second one for box office is Forrest Gump.
Yes, that was
I liked it.
huge back in the day.
I think I like that movie because, again, I apologize. So much of this is filtered from like a 10-year-old's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to keep like my
You don't need to apologize.
mature thoughts along with it. But like seeing that movie, I really liked how it showed all the past decades or like couple decades of American history, and you kind of get to feel like you get a little like look at some of those moments that you always hear about or always heard about. Like, kind of felt like you were there in some of those moments, and I just thought Forrest Gump was kind of likable.
Like it through his viewpoint, Tom Hanks' character. Yeah, where I saw a video on YouTube where the scene where he shakes Kennedy's hand. LBJ.
Kennedy too.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember if he shook LBJ's, but I remember he shook Kennedy's.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like, I need to pee.
He was just. People love that movie. I'm not super crazy about it.
The whole, like, I don't know what the right word is. The funny part is, like, all this massive history affects him, but it really doesn't phase him. Like, he has no idea. That's the whole funny part in this. Like, he's shaking LBJ and JFK's hand, and he's got to pee. You know, he's like going to the Olympics to play ping pong. He's in Vietnam. All this crazy stuff to a normal person would be like amazing. To him, it's just. Well, also he met Elvis at the beginning.
Yeah, but he's also the one that taught Elvis how to dance.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's the one that created that little smiley face thing, because when he wiped his face in the mud, it made the shape of the smiley face.
That's some of that is cheesy now thinking back on. Yeah, it didn't seem cheesy then, but now it's like, oh, come on. Like,
oh yeah, that's right. He had too many Dr. Peppers. That's why he had to pee.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
pee.
I really like that movie. Yeah.
And it has some heavy scenes in it too.
Yeah.
Some heavy silliness. Yeah, it's some depressingness.
People are gonna hate me for saying this, but I have not seen that movie.
No, you haven't.
I have not.
Your dad used to watch that film over and over and over and over. I got quite tired of it. Yes.
I think it's watchable. I think it's not a must see, but I think you'd probably enjoy watching it.
I don't know. I might say it's a must see, especially for this year. I mean.
It's at least a quintessential part of the history of American cinema.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to see it.
I mean, it's definitely worth a watch.
Mhm.
You
I
would
think
probably
quite a bit.
enjoy it. I just don't know that you'd be super crazy about it.
But I would
It's-
like to
it's
like
good. I
pinpoint
mean,
the historical parts in the
You
movies.
would like
and
the
see-
historical stuff about
Yeah.
it. You know, he goes to
pretty
the
cool, yeah.
war and
There's
he
a
meets
lot
the
of-
presidents. Yeah.
You get a little bit of war, which a little Vietnam and
Mhm.
Chris says,
No,
I
I've
think you
heard
need to
of some
stop
war.
streaming and go watch it right now.
We'll still be here when you're done. It's like 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
And you can
Sorry,
come
can't do that, Chris. But
I think
yeah,
it won the Oscar too, if I'm not mistaken.
It might
It
have.
might have.
I think he won Best Actor for sure. Maybe not. I don't want to say for sure, but I know he got
see.
nominated. I'm pretty sure he won.
I'm sorry to do this, but I have to step out for a bit.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I will most likely be back soon.
Be back with
Okay,
the top
no
three.
problem. Just jump back in whenever you're ready. You've got the lead.
Absolutely. I'm really sorry.
No problem.
All right,
okay.
thank you. I'll be
All
back. I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Now
Mom's
we've already
very
talked
nice,
about this
Stop.
true lies.
I think
was
somebody
number-
was saying something. I
Wow.
thought I heard somebody saying something. Was that Colin?
Sorry, I was just Mom said
Oh.
life's like a box of chocolates.
Oh yeah. That's what you were quoting the movie.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going to
sorry,
say
Arturo.
True Lies was number 3 in the box.
Yes.
office.
Yes. It was number 3. It made quite a bit, but not even, I don't even, maybe half of what The Lion King made.
Oh, yeah, 94 was the year of Jim Carrey, too.
Yeah.
Two big
He's got
films
2
with him.
movies in the
Three.
box office.
3 big films, really.
Okay.
Also
So,
was in
What
94.
was the other one?
No.
Which
So
one are we?
he's got 2.
No, Ace Ventura was 93, and it carried over, I think.
Really?
Or Ace Ventura
That-
2.
When you look it up, it comes out 94. Ace Ventura, The Mask.
Some of those
don't
lists
come
do
out.
overlap. Yeah, I found
He's
multiple.
got
They're not
got
all the
like-
same.
he's got 2 movies in the box off, like in the top 10 box. Okay, so number 4 is The Mask.
Okay, so Ace Ventura came out in February of 94. That's what it says on Wikipedia. It didn't make the top 10, but if I'm not mistaken, that was the first one, right? That was
It was
the
Ace
first Carrey.
Ventura, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, or Ace Ventura 2.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's when I first noticed Jim Carrey was with Ace Ventura.
Oh, yeah.
Now I had seen him before on In Living Color, but I didn't know who he was, so I didn't really
People knew,
notice
but
him.
like he became a superstar.
Oh
in
yeah, I
94.
remember he was all over the place. It was a little bit too
Yeah.
much Jim Carrey.
A lot
In
of
You
94
know-
and 95.
He was
You know
right
what?
in the.
In all
He had
honesty,
3
Corey, we never finished that movie. We were watching it like what 5-6 years ago.
Which
The
one?
Ace Ventura.
Oh.
Can't even say the name.
He had
right.
3 movies in 94, then 2 movies in 95. Crazy.
Right.
What were the 2 in 95?
Cable guy.
Really?
That was
That's
96, but he had Batman Forever and
Oh,
Ace
Batman Forever. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Ace Ventura 2.
Oh,
And
that came out the very next year?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize it was that fast.
A lot of Jim Carrey in a little bit of time.
I know. I remember them. It was like the market was saturated with him, and I started to get tired of him quickly.
They were. I mean, he's like the Arnold of comedy back. Like
Yeah.
Arnold was the huge box office for ads.
Yeah. I think
I love Jim Carrey, man. He was my
really. A lot of people really like him, and I've mentioned before that I see similarities between his style and Ryan Reynolds. Like they kind of remind me of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because Ryan Reynolds has this similar type of sort of sarcastic, dry humor that Jim
Yeah.
Carrey has
I think
in a lot of his comedy.
Jim's got the more physical.
I don't know.
It's
I
like-
don't see that.
I see it. I noticed it as soon as the very first time I saw a movie where I paid attention to Ryan Reynolds was in the movie Just Friends. And he reminded me so much of Jim Carrey. Like with his little
Have to look
sarcastic
for
side.
it.
Yeah, it was just, and my husband even noticed it. He says he's a
Yeah.
copy of Jim Carrey.
I get what you're saying, but it's like I feel like Carrey is just so much quicker and like
He's more physical, like you
like
say, too.
yeah with
with the
it.
comedy.
So, but
I think-
yeah, I get what you're saying.
For me, I think of Jim Carrey as going over the top, and then with Ryan Reynolds, I think of him as like keeping it just restrained enough
It's a
to
little
be
bit
Right.
pulled back, and so that's probably why I gravitate more toward Ryan Reynolds' brand than Jim
Yeah.
Carrey, because to me Jim Carrey's just so over the top. Plus, it didn't help that he was
Yeah.
in ridiculous, like Ace
Yeah.
Ventura and Dumb and Dumber. I'm just like, I can't.
Come
But
on.
I knew that was
I
right.
hate that movie.
I knew
But
that was gonna happen.
I actually really like him in Liar Liar. That's my favorite Jim Carrey movie. I think he's excellent in there.
Yeah.
As much as I love Dumb and Dumber, I think The Mask is the more nostalgic movie for me. I think I watched that when I had that on tape. I mean, watched that all the time.
Yeah, me
the
too.
Most nostalgic for me.
Yeah, we had the VHS and constant replay of The Mask.
I was gonna bring that back around about The Mask. I saw that a few years ago. I would probably rather, like, if I were to pick, I mean, I would rather maybe watch The Mask, because I also remember, like, what Mom, Dad would watch that.
Oh my goodness, he loved that film.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yes,
You know?
I think he watched Dumb and Dumber more, but he did really enjoy The Mask. He liked the villain in The Mask.
It's interesting. I mean, like, you know, Jim Carrey, like, he's, I guess you could say, take Liar Liar's Jim Carrey, mixed with his crazy acting in, like, let's say Dumb and Dumber, or I can never say the other movie's name right.
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, that one. And you put it in Mask, and you get The Mask.
Wait,
you get
what?
it?
Well,
He's got a little bit of a sweet side with, like, this normal person, Jim Carrey. And then you put the mask on, and it's like ultimate Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
But he also shows a bit of his dramatic side in The Mask, because he shows the more sort of, you know, you feel kind of sorry for him. You know.
Yeah, because he lives just a regular life. What, like, he works at a bank?
Yeah, he's like a normal, boring guy. Yeah, he's not like crazy all the time like his other characters.
Right. Only when he's The Mask.
People like treat him like crap, I think.
Yeah.
Too.
I was gonna say too, like, at the time, like, I was 9 in '94. I liked The Mask more, but then throughout the '90s, kind of from that point on, Dumb and Dumber was like my favorite movie for a while.
I love that film.
Into my teenage years, it was my favorite movie and one of my most watched movies.
Because it's amazing. I mean, that's
my God.
Dumb and Dumber. It's just one of the best comedies, and I watched it so much. And I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't want to go on too much because Sin is having
you're triggering her. You're triggering her.
I just gotta say, special props. That's got a special spot in my heart. That
we got
Dumb and Dumber.
we got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
Yeah, birds' heads are falling off.
You're so stupid. That's the thing. That's why I called it. Okay, so I call it a dumb comedy, but it is well written. Okay, I understand. I get it. But when I say dumb comedy, I don't mean that it's poorly acted or it's poorly written. What I mean is
it's juvenile.
The characters are so stupid.
It's very juvenile.
They are so dumb. It's just over the top dumbness, and to me, it's just I can't. But I know it's got a huge fan base.
I still think, like, there's so many quotes. I think the most I think about it. You're saying there's a chance. I always think of that.
Like 1 in a million, you know. So you're saying there's a chance. Oh my God! The Samsonite, the luggage.
Yes, Samsonite.
Samsonite was way off.
So besides The Mask, my dad would also watch Dumb and Dumber a lot. So when I was younger, I would see him watch that. And I remember some of the bad scenes where they accidentally give one of the bad guys the
pills are good.
The ulcer.
They gave him the wrong. What did they do? What did
spicy
they do
peppers or something, right? Or spicy sauce or peppers.
It was some poison pills, though, wasn't it?
Rat poison. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
that's
right.
What killed him. Yeah.
They didn't give him. Yeah. They replaced his pills. Oh no.
Jeez.
It's
okay, Glenn. It's all right.
But no, I was going to show you, going back to The Mask. I have a magazine here somewhere, but I don't. I thought it was this one, but this is actually
nice
right here. But
I remember Adventures.
So there was supposed to be. You might already know this. A Mask #2 would come out.
Yeah.
And there's I have a magazine with the actual advertisement for it, win a chance to be an extra in The Mask 2 or something.
Oh wow.
And it just never happened.
Well, they did make a Mask 2, but it wasn't a Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
movie.
but this one was supposed to be the year after with Jim Carrey or sometime soon.
I wonder why it didn't work out. Like, what happened?
I wish I had that
He had
magazine.
too much to do, probably.
Maybe.
Probably had so many offers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have the DVD. We've got Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah,
here.
I don't know where that thing's. I had a magazine, but
It looks like he made all that money and wanted to rent. Like he did Man in the Moon and Truman Show. Because I tracked Jim Carrey's career. He was like my favorite. So I can still remember all these movies he did for a while. I stopped caring after a while, but yeah, he did Truman Show and.
Then I feel like he had the comeback with Bruce Almighty, which was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing's topped that 94 run.
Yeah,
94.
I don't think he's like
few comedians have ever had a run like he did in '94.
Yeah,
like he was on top.
Yeah,
I think when he tried to branch out into dramatic roles, it didn't seem to work very well because I think by then he was so typecast. He is an excellent dramatic actor.
He is good. Yeah.
But I think people just didn't. And now when he tries to get back into comedy, it's not quite. I don't know if it's that it's just his style has worn off.
I think
he did so fine in Sonic.
He's so like over the top physical to where at his age maybe it just doesn't mesh. I don't know.
As part of it too, it's one of those things I feel like you can't recapture certain things. Like in '94, no one was doing that. And it was new, and everyone liked it. Like he can't keep doing that every year or whatever, going back to it. Like we've all, at this point, everyone's kind of numb to that kind of. We've all seen so much stuff like, over the top comedy and ridiculous stuff. So it's kind of like, he just had that. It was his moment. He had that thing no one else was doing or had really done before, and he was really good at it.
Yeah,
I thought the Truman Show was good. I did like the Truman Show.
That was sad.
I like it.
Yeah.
It was sad.
That was like one of his serious roles, I think.
It's probably his most, or maybe his best one.
What?
A lot of people like, what's the one that came out in 2004?
Is that 23?
No.
That number?
Eternal
04?
Sunshine of the Spotless.
I've heard that's really good, but I've never seen it.
You've never seen it. It's a huge hit. Yeah, I always see it on like best of. I always like to look at best of the decade, best of the whatever, and that pops up all the time. And it's just a romance movie. It's sad and it's romantic. And I guess he was good in it. But I saw it once.
You work at the Stanley Hotel?
Isn't that cool?
That's the haunted one.
Oh, that is awesome. Wow.
Oh, is that the haunted hotel?
That's what like The Shining was kind of.
Yeah, I saw this little mini documentary about that. It's really interesting.
Oh, that's cool. Glenn.
I did not. Oh, wait.
And Jim Carrey actually stayed there and I think he left the building because he got scared or something.
Right, there was something I had completely forgotten about that until Glenn brought this up. But that they had filmed there, and that he had stayed there, and there was some wonky stuff happening, according to the people that worked on the film.
Haunted?
It's got a history, I guess. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's funny.
But
wow,
it's a cool hotel.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Interesting.
So number 5 in the box office is Speed. With
great movie. I love that movie.
I like Speed too.
That was so much fun.
I just watched that again like last week, I think.
Oh, really?
So good.
I mean, I've seen it before, but yeah. I mean, it is the quintessential action movie. It's just great action movie.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw that, Corey, was at Deanna's house.
Yeah. Okay.
It was New Year's Eve when we'd seen it. We went to that little rental store up the road.
Yeah.
And we watched it, and I was not prepared for how excellent that movie was.
It was like almost formulaic how good it is as an action movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I like Keanu Reeves. Like, I know he's not a great actor, but he's just like, I like his charisma or what. He doesn't have he's a weird, very subdued charisma.
Yeah.
And I guess now I don't pay that much attention. He's had a resurgence. I've seen like Keanu. People are all into him now. But for a long time, he was like the butt of the joke. And but I like him. Like, I think he's not Owen Wilson level likable for me, but I feel like that guy. I wish he'd be like a cool friend. Like, I guess
there's something about him that seems really genuine and not big-headed at all. I have always liked him. The very first time I saw him was in a movie in the 80s called Dream to Believe. It was a gymnastics movie, and he was the love interest. Was quite young at the time, probably a teen.
I've not seen it, but
I never forgot him. And then I've just been aware of him for a long, long time, and I've always liked him, even though, like you said, he's not really the best actor. He really isn't. But there's something about him that's so charming.
I never really put it that, but he seems humble. Like he doesn't seem big-headed or arrogant in any of his movies.
That's what I like about him.
Yeah.
I would like to like if I had to pick between which actor to actually speak to, I would talk to him.
He's almost more popular now than I feel like he was then.
I feel with John Wick and the latest generations really
the Cyberpunk game and everything, and when we went to that game show or whatever, that went over really.
Oh yeah, like you're breathtaking.
Yeah,
you're all breathtaking.
Did you see the video of when something happened with like a flight or some sort of weird thing happened with the flight that he had been on? And it got diverted, and so it was either they had to wait there for the next one, or they had to drive to somewhere. And he was just there on a plane with just like a regular plane with regular people. And so they all got in the car and they're driving to wherever it was they needed to go. And he's like looking up information on his phone and reading them bits of trivia and facts about the area. It was so cool. It was the neatest thing. He was just like a normal dude.
Yeah.
So.
I heard that Marvel actually reached out to him for a role, and some people were speculating he might play Johnny Blaze as Ghost Rider, possibly. But
I could see him doing that.
Yeah, I could see.
He could be a good, cool Ghost Rider, and he likes motorcycles, from what I've heard.
Yes, and he had a wreck on a motorcycle that did him some serious damage, and now he's got this long scar on his abdomen because of that.
Damn.
Yeah, he's had it for years.
I always think of that trailer for that movie Chain Reaction, like 97, where it's like a shock. He's on a motorcycle and a shockwave is chasing him. And I would ride my bike and pretend I was Keanu Reeves in the shockwave.
I forgot all about that movie.
It was a forgettable movie, but that trailer and that scene stuck in my head for that reason.
My one issue with Speed, and it's only just one, but there's that moment where
I know, right?
bus.
There's got to be a joke, Glenn.
Speed's not good enough for you?
That's funny.
Well,
sorry, Arturo, what's your issue?
It's just when the bus was able to go through, when
it jumped
to jump to the other side.
Jump the bridge. Yeah.
That cannot really happen. I don't think.
Especially when it was like that. I mean, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Like that can't. Like that's my only gripe with it. It's like that cannot happen. But
right. At that point of the movie, they're like, if they're not on board by now, they're like. They're either with us or they're not.
Your disbelief for a little bit.
Yeah.
But other than that, it is a great movie, I'll say.
Oh yeah.
It's like we can get away with this because the rest of the movie's great. So.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of funny too is thinking of the violence in these movies and how, as a kid and a young person, it was like almost shocking, not maybe shocking, but memorable to me. Like Jurassic Park with the fake arm was memorable, and in Speed when the dude gets decapitated, whoa, that was crazy.
Right.
And that kind of stuff now, if I saw it in a movie, I wouldn't remember it the next day that I saw it. But just in the night, so yeah, a lot of these movies I saw, the violent imagery sticks with me. Not that it was particularly totally awful.
Yeah, that's how I felt about True Lies. Some of the scenes that it showed, like blood, I was kind of sensitive to blood when I was younger.
Yeah, as a kid.
Like it was the scene when they're in that roadway, in the water, in the bridge that's in the water, and they're fighting in the car, and the girl accidentally shoots the driver in the head.
Oh yeah.
And I remember that scene was like, oh.
Yeah.
This makes me think of another scene from another movie that is in '94.
What's that?
Pulp Fiction.
This is Pulp Fiction's year.
Whenever
I haven't looked ahead enough.
I mean, I don't want to give a spoiler. I don't know who's seen it and who hasn't seen it. So
seen it a bunch.
Oh yeah, that scene.
Wait, have you still not? Oh yeah. Whenever
we watched it. We watched it.
That's right.
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah, that scene. That's kind of similar. Yeah.
That's right.
Anyways, but yeah, '94. Good year.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction was good. It was well done. It kind of like jumped around in the timeline a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Wait, real quick while I'm thinking about it before I forget, I'm looking at the top 10. So I'm going to do Colin's top 10 kids movies in the box office.
Oh yeah, because there's some kids movies here.
Lion King #1. The Mask #4. Pretty much kids. Yeah, pretty much
Yeah,
kids.
it's kind of cartoony.
I mean,
And
it's got some stuff in it, a little bit.
There's a few scenes like
Sorry, wrong pocket.
that are like maybe not for kids, but mostly. The
He's
Flintstones,
not a non-kids item.
pretty
The
much.
Flintstones surprised me that it was in the top 10.
Yeah, I didn't remember it being that popular. I remember it,
Me
but not.
either. I guess because
not
of
big.
kids, and maybe the parents of kids that remember it from when they were kids, they went to go see it. But I thought it was kind of considered a flop, but I might be misremembering completely.
Yeah, I just don't remember it being a hit. I don't remember it being
Yeah.
a
The
flop.
Mask or
No,
Like, it just
Flintstones.
came and went, kind of.
oh yeah.
Oh,
But that
the Flintstones.
movie,
Yeah. I saw
That's-
glimpses of that movie.
that's another movie that's like heavily marketed. If
It was so marketed, and then just like no one talked about it.
boys
6
and
months later.
Yeah.
McDonald's and like
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember the marketing for sure. Like
I
in the
like-
grocery
too.
stores.
it's
and-
like Dick Tracy, heavily marketed. Wasn't that good?
No.
And yet it ended up being I thought that I
But-
had a memory of it not being.
But the Flintstones better than Dick Tracy for sure.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's better than that. I mean,
I
it's
think-
not horrible. It's
Ooh.
It was an all right movie for a kids
it's
movie.
good.
Like John Goodman's really cool.
Like it's not bad, but it's not.
Not bad.
You know.
Could have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So three kids movies in the top 10.
Yeah.
And just a lot of movies aren't even like for kids. A lot of R-rated movies and movies not for kids at all. Like
Is
Yes, it was in the top 10. Surprisingly,
Oh,
it was
man.
number 6.
Forrest Gump and Lion King, really like twice as much as the number True Lies and Below #3.
Yeah, I know. There was.
you got it.
but-
Lion King. I mean, Disney was like on that roll of like upward, and then when you got the soundtrack
Right.
to that and everything, that's probably their magnum opus. Their big. Because I guarantee you, after Lion King, it goes downward. Because next year's Pocahontas, and that was.
Lion King was peak
Yeah.
Disney. Yeah.
Yeah.
It never quite
I
that
love
bad.
Pocahontas, but we'll get to that next year.
Yeah.
That's right. You do like Pocahontas.
Yeah,
You did a review of it, didn't you, on your channel?
I might
I
have.
thought you did,
I might have.
or something.
Yeah, or I definitely talked about it at some point. Yeah, love that movie.
That was 94. Leon the Professional.
Is Shawshank Redemption? Is that
Yeah,
one?
that's 94.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw bits of that when we were in Washington D.C. that trip.
Bits. That's a movie you
Bits
don't
and
watch
pieces.
bits of.
That's in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Timothy's favorite movie.
Timothy and Matt were watching it.
It's amazing.
A lot of people like it.
You don't watch bits of that?
I don't like Shawshank Redemption. I saw
Oh.
it once, and that was like, I'm good, no more.
Oh,
But
mean,
you
I-
know what?
Two, it's a
Why?
once is enough, but it's definitely you should
Yeah.
watch it once. I think it's almost like it's referenced so much. It's really good story, but it is a little too serious.
It was freaking
Yeah.
depressing, and
It's
I
depressing.
don't like jail movies. So
Yeah, I get
it
that.
had that against it, but the acting was great. The writing was good. It's the all the technical stuff
The
was
score.
fine. It's just I
Really good
don't
score.
mesh well with films like that. It has really not a reflection on the quality of the film itself.
Right, just personal. I
Yeah.
get you because I'm similar with like I don't like to go be in that place. It's like a sad place to be. So I like to see the story, but then I don't want to go back.
I was just like that
Right.
old man, when he got out of prison. I was like, oh, I know.
Well, I know what
I'm not
happened in that scene.
You know what
where-
happened to him? I was just,
Yeah.
and you know what? This is what annoyed me. My dad had seen it already, and so the first time I watched it, my husband and I we watched it together with mom and dad or my dad or whatever. And so when the scene was getting ready to happen, I'm like, oh, he's probably going to do such and so, he's going to do this thing I predicted. And my dad was like, yeah, it makes you think that, doesn't it? Because so when he said that, I'm thinking, oh, okay, he doesn't do it. He's going to be okay. And then he did it. And I'm like, dude.
Thank you.
How
Nice.
dare you do that
You
to
have
me?
you have a lot of problem with your parents in movies, like Halloween, like this.
Have you? Yeah.
Is there like something there? Yeah, like what's going on there?
I know
No.
this is a promotion for He Said, She Said. Just watch your
Yes, it
parents
is.
gossip
He
about
said, she
stuff.
said, oh my God.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug. Okay.
In case you don't know, Colin, he
What?
said, okay, so this reference that Arturo said, he said, she said. It's a show that he has on his channel where he has always been quite fascinated by the bickering that goes on between my parents, like the funny sort of like just back and forth verbal bickering.
Yeah.
And so they used to do, my dad used to do homeschool classes with my kids. And so Arturo started recording what they were saying. And then he started filming the stuff that they were saying. And so then he made it into a series showing them bickering and like this just different little verbal sort of battles. And it's
okay. I might have to watch one. I like that.
You want to see what my folks are like?
Yeah. Old couples are entertaining.
My trailer for the show.
The trailer was funny. The trailer was pretty funny because you had that clip about mom saying, well, he had to go back in the house because he had diarrhea.
Yeah.
That's on Arturo's channel, right?
Yeah, Arturo's channel.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll check that out.
Oh, it's my parents. They're hamming it up for the camera.
The production value. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, so what else? So of course, after the Flintstones was Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, which we
knew that was in which we've talked about, and then
Big Gulp, huh? All right, that's another one. Big Gulp.
What's that?
In Dumb and Dumber, I love that quote where he's just like, "Big Gulp, huh? All right, catch you later."
Gulps. Are these yours? Both of them.
Oh, guys, just keep it up. You're triggering my mom.
Oh no, we have not talked about Clerks, but my brother.
We will. We should.
Told me to mention Clerks so that I could use that. I could use that as a doorway to bash Kevin Smith.
No,
what he did to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
I don't mind if you bash Kevin Smith, but I don't. Man, see, I want to talk about Masters of the Universe with you now. Like, I need to.
I was not happy with that.
I want to know why, because I really liked episodes 1, 2, and 5. I
liked episode 1, and then after that, it kind of went downhill.
Oh, I've been hearing stuff about that.
My review is going up for it tomorrow because I
filmed
it last night.
We'll just wait.
Yeah, it's just I kind of go into some detail as to what it is, why fans are generally
and another thing
unhappy.
is, what is up with Kevin Smith? I'm seeing this stuff go around about him and the Masters of the Universe.
Okay, because he's getting such a backlash for what happened with that show.
He produced and wrote it. He produced and wrote it.
He also misled the fans. Okay, because the fans were concerned that I think they'd been hearing because some stuff had been leaking out that it was really not primarily going to be about He-Man. It was going to be about Teela for the most part. And so he straight up he told a story. He says, oh, Teela has a big part in it, but it's all about He-Man. And it was not at all. So people are aggravated by that, and so he's reacting not very kindly to the backlash he's getting. And so then that's pissing people off even more. And it's just... So
man, that's why I don't pay attention to that stuff because it ruins the
right. And see, I didn't
material.
either. I stayed away from that before I watched it, like I did with Wonder Woman 84 and like I did with Black Widow. I didn't pay attention to that.
But then you had to go find out what people.
So I went and watched it first.
I do that too, yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I think I can see why people were upset. And then I started looking at reviews, and I was like, okay, it's definitely this is how I feel about it. So,
and I guess you could say he was calling out somewhat Clownfish TV, which didn't make him.
Well, they had inside information. That's where the inside information came from. Was from them.
Yeah, and that didn't make him look well either, from what I saw. But
see, the line that you have to kind of carefully walk with this stuff that happens is how to distinguish between when something's true and when something's just rumor and speculation. And a lot of times when something's just rumor, certain people on the internet will take it and run with it like it's fact, and then they'll turn a bunch of people against something when it's not even accurate.
Yeah, like Clownfish TV, so far they've been a bit more faithful to what they're showing.
Maybe I'll listen to them from now on instead of anybody, all the other.
Because I think
Sorry, we're getting off base. I got on a Kevin Smith rant.
Oh yeah, well that's on me. I brought it up, but they were in the business at the time, so that's probably why they know a little more.
Okay, that could be. So I've heard of Clerks, Joe, but I've never seen it. Have you guys seen it?
It is a classic. I agree. I mean,
what's it about?
It's just it's two guys that work at one dude works at a video store, one dude works next door at a gas station, and they just work and hang out and talk about like it's their boring lives. It's like very relatable, like two normal guys working minimum wage jobs and they're clerks, and it's like they hang out, next door during work, after work, or whatever. I guess it's all during work, but like on breaks or whatever, kind of back and forth and talking, and it's it's been a while since I've seen it. I watched it a few times. I was really into Kevin Smith as a teenager and his early movies because he was kind of different, like with Clerks and his early stuff. He's kind of more like more of a real kind of comic. Like it wasn't so Hollywood. Like now he's gone on to make more Hollywood stuff, and there's also a lot more people doing the kind of thing he was doing. But in the '90s, it was a little fresher, and so yeah, Clerks is one of his best movies, and it was like the cheapest, easiest, simplest one. And yeah, just stuff like they're playing like street hockey or like on the roof. I think they play on the roof, or maybe.
So it's like slice of life.
Just slice of life. Yeah, it's just it's just shooting the shit, and it's just funny, and yeah, it's a good movie. It's easy to watch because it's relatable like that. Like there's no real plot, or it's not Hollywood at all. It's just
What about the second one? Was that as good as the first?
No, man, that was different. I mean, I saw that once, and it was years later, and it felt like they were trying to recapture it, and maybe in some ways they did, but it felt like that they also kind of brought like kind of over the top comedy stuff that they did just so they could. Unless I'm misremembering it, I thought it was skippable.
Well, I think he recently announced that Clerks 3 is getting ready to go into production or something.
Oh man, so, I don't know. Did you see Clerks 2, Corey? Do you remember?
I've seen Clerks 1 time, and at the time, it was okay. I think I would like it more now if I watched it, but I've not seen Clerks 2.
Who's in that?
No one famous. Well, wait, Clerks 1, because I mean, no one famous because
the first Clerks, yeah.
He made it with like independent. It was an independent movie basically. So he did
someone mentioned that on the 35,000. Where is that? Yeah, right here. Yeah, $35,000.
I think it's from New Jersey. I think it was in New Jersey. I mean,
okay.
But then, I think his second movie was Mallrats, which was my favorite movie, and that had like Ben Affleck and Stan Lee.
I do want to see that. I've not seen that yet. I really do want to see that.
I think Mallrats is great, and I think it's really great because of Jason Lee. Like that's it's like I consider myself a slacker if I had to define myself. Like in the teenage high school cliques, I was the slacker clique, and like Jason Lee in Mallrats is like one of the ultimate slacker characters. Like, he was really good.
Yeah, I need to check that out.
So
is that
number
the one with Alicia Silverstone in it, or is she in something else?
Clueless, you might be thinking of.
She's in Clueless.
No, there was something. Okay, yeah, I know she was in that, but I kept somehow I kept thinking she was in Clerks or in Mallrats, but I might be completely.
I mean, Mallrats has a bigger cast for sure, but I don't know.
Okay,
I was gonna say
never mind. Sorry, go ahead.
Number 8 was 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Yeah, was that the one with Hugh Grant in it?
Sounds right.
Yeah, it's a British romantic comedy. I don't know if I ever saw that, but that might be the first time I became aware of him as an actor. I don't think there's
any Hugh Grant movie that I like, but I've not seen that many. So,
yeah, have you seen The Gentleman?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I want to see that. Yeah, the new.
Oh yeah, Corey. The Gentleman's really
he's really
good.
Funny in there.
Guy Ritchie directed it. He's like my next favorite director alongside Quentin Tarantino.
No, I've not seen it.
Oh, he's not like the star of it, but he's in there. I think you would probably like it.
I know he's in.
Maybe that's
like a cult movie I was wanting to see from the '80s, Lair of the White Worm, but I've not seen it yet. It's like a young.
That sounds familiar to me.
It's like a cult horror type.
Oh.
Okay.
Anyways, that's the '80s, not '90s. So.
I know we're way off the '80s now.
Yeah.
The next one was an Interview with a Vampire.
Mm.
Oh wait, is that the one that Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt are in the same movie?
Yes, and a young Kirsten Dunst.
Oh yeah.
a little
And
child.
Banderas. Yeah, and Banderas.
I remember in there, I think she had her character.
She has a
had
lot
to-
of. Go ahead.
Well, her character had to kiss Tom Cruise. I think it was Tom Cruise or I can't remember. She had to kiss one of the guys. And I remember, and I don't. It wasn't like a hot, steamy kiss, and I don't even remember how much it really was on the lips or whatever. But I remember that caused kind of a stir because she was very, very young when she filmed that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
But in the movie, she's like very, very old. She's just a vampire. She's a vampire, and so she's what?
She's so,
hundreds and many decades years old. She just trapped in a child's body. She even mentions something about that. I think her character does about being trapped. She's like she's got all these adult desires and wants, but she's in this little child's body.
Right.
So nobody can look at her that way.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how many kids roles she had throughout the 90s. If you, I mean, I don't know if I want to get to them yet, but she's got quite a few.
There's only two that I thought I knew of. With this one, and then also, she was in Small Soldiers, right?
Yeah.
And was she in Jumanji?
Yeah.
Oh, was that 94? I love Jumanji.
I don't think it was. Yeah, I
think it
just
was
was jumping ahead. Yeah. Okay.
She's also in the Tower of Terror movie, which was straight to VHS, but based on the ride. Yeah. I think it's her and like Steve Gutenberg.
Baby,
I think I saw that a long time
Baby,
ago.
stay out now.
I think that was a straight to Disney Channel movie.
Might have been.
Was this movie actually good, Mom? The Interview with the Vampire?
I've seen it once, and it's a lot of people really, really like it. But and it's about vampires, right? So you would think I absolutely loved it, but for some reason, I was not enamored with it. It's not bad, and I think it's worth a watch. It's based on a novel by Anne Rice, which I have never read any of her books, but she writes all these. She's written a bunch of vampire books, and I don't know why I never clicked with it. It's weird, maybe because it's not super action packed. It's more of a character drama.
Yeah,
it's not the Lost Boys. Yeah.
No, it's not the Lost Boys. So
yeah,
I agree with you. Like,
I
was like, this should be great, and instead I was like, this is pretty good. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't bad, but it wasn't really that memorable.
I'd rather watch Underworld or Lost Boys.
See, those are definitely the better vampire movies to me. But
or Fright Night.
Or Blade. Blade.
Okay.
I forgot Blade.
So you know that movie Near Dark that we've talked about before, Corey?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a little. It's like vampires. It's like a vampire movie, but it's more subdued and not super actiony.
Right.
And I like Near Dark, but it's not like I love it. Kind of like I like Interview with the Vampire, but. Yeah, it's just exactly.
Not as rewatchable and fun.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Arturo is getting distracted by the Olympics. That's why he keeps turning around.
Tell us if Katie gets a gold.
Who's competing right now?
Well, on this channel, nothing's live. It's showing them doing the gymnastics right now.
Anything beats the hell out of vampires that sparkle. Yes, I
Hellsing. Hellsing beats.
Yeah, I know, but like I would definitely prefer to watch Interview with the Vampire as opposed to Twilight.
Yeah. And then the last one for the top 10 is Clear and Present Danger with Harrison Ford.
That's based on a book series by Tom Clancy, and there have been multiple movies with that character in it with different people playing that character.
Yeah, I think you told me about that.
Yeah.
Is that any good?
Yeah, it's your typical. Have you seen it, you guys?
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but yeah,
I've seen it.
I think it's the second. Okay, so the very first movie that came out with that character in it, and I didn't know it was that character, was The Hunt for Red October, and Alec Baldwin played the character of that Harrison Ford plays. Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't realize it either. And then, what was the first one that came out? Was this the first one, or was the first one before?
Well, Red
in the Line of Fire, one of them? Was that one?
Oh, no, you're thinking about the Clint Eastwood.
Okay, no, I forgot. Yeah, I know what you were talking about, but I don't remember.
Okay, Patriot. So then Patriot Games came out with Harrison Ford, and then Clear.
Then you won with Ben Affleck.
They had
And
the one with
Ben
Ben Affleck.
And now John Krasinski, right, is doing the show on Amazon.
Yeah, he's doing the show, and then there was also another movie that came out between the Affleck movie and the show on Amazon, and that one Chris Pine plays the character.
Oh yeah.
I'm not thinking of like
Yeah.
Tom Ryan movie or something. I don't. What am I
It
thinking?
is. I think it is Tom Ryan.
Yeah, or
The
Okay.
character of the
it's either
character.
him or the other one. Yeah, I think it is Tom Ryan.
It is. Yeah, or John or Tom. What is it? Hold on.
Tom, I think Tom.
No, Jack. Jack
Jack.
Ryan. Yeah, Jack Ryan.
Tom.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
name of the dude, right? Is it
Yeah, his character.
is it Tom Clancy? No, Tom Clancy Rainbow Six.
Tom Clancy is the writer.
So many
Oh,
names.
and he did Rainbow
Clancy.
Six, which
Okay.
what's his name?
Okay,
Michael
yeah.
B. Jordan recently was in an Amazon Prime movie about
Oh yeah.
one of the characters in that universe.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never
Huh.
read any of his books.
There's a lot of
I don't
names.
know how-
Me
I
neither.
know.
Oh my god, I'm looking at this. 94 has so many movies. Like top. I already feel like I got a top 3 locked in.
I've definitely got a top 3 locked in. for
There's
sure.
there is one recent one that I saw from '94, and that's The Crow.
Yeah, you saw it when Timothy was here.
I thought that was
Mhm.
93.
It was
Was it
90.
93?
It was no, I believe it was 94. It came out in 94.
What month? I'm trying to look for it. Actually,
I'm looking. I found it. Hold on. May. It came out in May, and it was a little bit more than a year after he died.
Oh,
Because after he died, I think it was kind of up in the air as to whether they were going to be able to finish the movie because they were almost done, but not quite. So they were able to. They did do like a. They were able in some scenes to put his face on a stunt guy's body.
right,
In some scenes, plus there was a lot of that movie was in shadow.
right.
So it ended up coming out, and surprisingly, it was quite well received. I didn't expect that it would be well received. I figured
was
that
good.
He was, yeah, it was good.
Man, the
It's
best
really
scene
dark
in
and
that
depressing.
movie. The best scene in that movie, the most badass scene, is when he goes to that place and he just starts shooting it up. So awesome.
Was that the end? The very
Near
end?
the end, yeah, he just starts shooting the bad guys. And
Spoilers.
Oh, well, I mean, there's always going to be a showdown in movies like this.
Tisk.
Man, but your mom was kind of like very like about the movie when we were watching it. Were you there? And she was reacting to it a little bit.
Oh, my mom. Oh, really?
Oh,
Like the
I thought
scene
you
where
were
he
I thought you were
stuffed.
talking about Lisa at first. I was like, what?
No. Your mom, like
Yeah.
when you were
it was that
negative.
kind of scene where the needles are sticking out somebody's body.
Oh, okay.
There was that scene.
Well,
that
you know
happened.
how mom is. She
She's
doesn't
like,
all that
why
hard
do you
stuff.
watch these sort of movies? I'm like,
It's
I'm
just
being
funny
wrong.
because her taste in films has changed.
Even though
My
they watched
dad-
Halloween, you know,
Halloween and the
Terminator.
Terminator. They saw the Terminator before I did. They came back from wherever they'd seen it from. They'd gone out of town and they'd been in a hotel and it was on TV and they were telling me all about it and how good it was. And now, if they would sit down and watch it now, they'd be like, "Oh, this is awful. This is too violent."
They were like in their 40s when they
You
were in.
guys
They
were the
even saw a
ones that told me
werewolf
about-
movie. They took you when you were 5
Yeah,
years
they
old
would
to a
take me to
werewolf
theaters
movie.
to see movies that were highly inappropriate for a young child
See,
to see.
like this is why we got to get your mom to sit down and watch the whole MCU movies.
She's not going to want to do that. I'm telling
Well, we
you.
got to do it. We got to do it.
Not happening.
But yeah, like she was reacting to that.
Shadow.
Well, it's rated R for a reason.
Yes,
it's very
exactly.
noirish too.
It
the
is.
movie.
hmm
I
I wouldn't
kind of like
mind
that.
rewatching The Shadow.
I don't know if I ever saw that movie.
Will, I think it was Will, was really into this movie for some reason when he was little.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at the time I liked it. I kind of want to rewatch it. Tim Curry's in it, so that's always a plus.
Oh,
Tim Curry.
yeah.
I just watched the Congo on Netflix. We'll have to talk about next year, 95.
Wait,
Tim
was
Curry
Congo
is-
95? Wow.
Pretty sure.
That
Yeah.
long
I think
ago.
it is. Yeah, I think it is.
Beverly Hills Cop 3 came out this year.
Yeah, I think Timothy told me that. He reminded me of that.
Huh. Well, I haven't seen any of the Beverly Hills Cop movies, sadly.
I never did either. Yeah.
You're
A lot
missing
of them
out.
I was too young for a lot of stuff, and then It was like I was gonna say with The Crow. I was too young at the time, and then when I went back, I felt like I was too old. Like it felt dated a little bit. I don't. Maybe that's just me.
But you gotta have that nostalgia.
Yeah.
To watch it for the nostalgia.
Yeah, it did inspire Sting.
Yeah, he's talking about The Crow, right?
I think I thought I said something about that, like, but I don't know why I would have said.
Maybe
that.
I remember when I saw Sting, he reminded me of The Crow.
Yeah,
I used to get those confused. Like, why are they the same?
Gosh, that's when wrestling was awesome. Then, oh my lord, it's funny because Sting was like, not to get too off topic, but like WCW had like all these bad guys within it, and they would come in and like take over the show. And Sting would be like up in the rafters with a baseball bat and just come down. And he would like bring order to everything. Like he was bringing order to everybody. That's
funny.
Yeah, great stuff.
That's funny.
But yeah.
Then there was a Disney movie, or Walt Disney Pictures, The Santa Claus with
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen.
That
was 94. My gosh.
That was a popular VHS at our house. Tim Allen.
Tim Allen, made that. That's love that one.
It's hard to believe it's that old.
I think we were replaying that movie at our theater when we opened up.
Oh, I'm just gonna throw
Tim
one out.
Good 94.
Oh, so there was a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Colin.
Sorry, I'm looking at this list. I'm on number 200 on IMDb, so I'm like, I'll throw this out because I'll forget. Because I forgot about this movie even exists. But Radioland Murders was a fun movie. It's like a comedic. It's like a mystery crime comedy, and takes place in like the 20s or 30s at like a radio station.
Yeah,
it's a fun movie. It's like. There's a murders going on at this radio station during a big broadcast, and they're trying to figure out what it is, and it's really funny and different. And I just seen that, like I would watch that if I would watch that movie today.
I think I may have seen that a long time ago. Completely forgot about it. Is that kind of like Clue, similar to style to Clue?
In tone, I guess. Yeah, that would be one of the closer comparisons. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, man, so many films that I've.
I was gonna say that the Street. Okay, there was two, I think, Street Fighter movies that came out. There was the live action one we got, and
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, then there was the anime one.
Yeah, Timothy was talking about the animals.
But
I never saw the anime.
I heard our movie version wasn't that great. The anime version was better.
I really like the movie version, but again, it's through the specter of like a 9-year-old. I was like, they did a good job on this. Like,
yeah, because when you're a kid, you don't.
I want to see the anime version because I've heard it.
Tim said it was good. He liked it.
The live action or the anime one?
The anime version. He was talking to me about that today.
He's been telling me about Fatal Fury, the anime, which I would like to watch. He's watched all that good stuff from the 90s. But yeah, those two came out this year. And then there was the Jungle Book, I think, live action version.
I think that was the one that had Jason Scott Lee in it.
Yeah.
I think that's his name, the guy who played Bruce Lee in the Dragon movie the year before. And also Lena Headey played.
Really? Young Lena Headey?
That was the first time I saw her. And I didn't, it didn't stick with me who she was. I didn't really but I remember her in there.
Wow. I've had that movie on VHS forever, and I remember having it, but I don't remember watching it that much as a kid. So I don't know.
Cute. I like the scenes where she's teaching him stuff, to try to civilize him and everything, and teach him how to write and all that stuff. I don't want to forget to mention Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Oh yeah,
which came out in '94.
Freddy Krueger, yeah.
I like that movie.
Really good. Have you seen that, Colin?
I never did. I never went back. Well, some of them I have. I never went back to a lot of these old horror movies because, again, I was too young. And then when I became 18, 17, I felt like, oh, that's too cheesy now. I'm too old for it. Even at 18, felt like.
It's not. I didn't have high hopes for it, but I saw it a few years ago. And yes, Chris, I know I do. I put her up there.
What?
She was trying to crawl in a place I didn't want her to go, so I put her up on my shoulder to get her out of the way. Yeah, it's not bad. Do you know the premise?
I mean, all I know is that the first Freddy Krueger movie. Or-
No, the first Freddy Krueger movie was Nightmare on Elm Street back in 1984, right, Corey?
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking,
this
right?
is like 10 years
like-
after that.
Then they had multiple
Yeah.
ones,
Right,
and they're
right.
not.
The
They're
80s,
not.
right? I knew it
Yeah.
wasn't. Okay, I was pretty sure it wasn't.
So this
But-
one's cool. This one is basically it. You should give it a try.
I
This
would
one-
give it.
Basically, so what it is like.
Kind of want to rewatch that. Yeah.
It's
I know he haunts people's nightmares. I mean, it's been referenced.
yeah, he does. But in this one, they take a really cool twist. It's that Freddy becomes real in the lives of the actors that acted in the movie. So they're playing themselves.
Whoa! Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So like
Okay.
Nancy, the girl Nancy, what was her name? What was her character's name?
Yeah, Nancy. Yeah.
Nancy.
From
The
the
actor,
first one.
the actress Heather Langenkamp is her name.
Yeah.
So she plays herself. Wes
Okay.
Craven is in there. Wes Craven plays himself.
Nice.
Freddie,
Robert
Freddie.
Englund.
Robert Englund plays
Yeah.
himself.
That sounds cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the
Different
premise
stuff.
was I was not expecting that at all, and
Yeah,
I
we
was
were
very
kinda-
pleasantly surprised.
I would say you need to at least watch the first one before you do watch
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah,
Have
like
you seen? Yeah, watch the first one for sure.
Okay, I will.
first
I will.
one and then that. Yeah,
You'll
like
see
those-
a
I
young
haven't
Johnny
seen
Depp
the other-
in there. He
Nice.
that might have been his first movie. Was that his first?
Yeah,
Nightmare on
I
Elm
think
Street?
so. Yeah.
I did.
lot
I
of
kept
people-
that. I got a link from someone so I could watch some of those movies. But I've just been distracted with games because I'm starting to build a list of like last week. I remember at least Demolition Man's on there.
Oh
will
yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
gonna throw on New Nightmare and some of the other ones we talk about. I'm starting to build a list of.
Things to check out.
I just got to beat these games though. I got to beat Mario.
But yeah, I would definitely watch the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'll
and
do
then
that.
jump
And if
to
you
the-
like
because
that, definitely watch the others. But
Yeah, I like
The
horror.
others-
Halloween. I watch the new Halloween a lot too.
I'm so excited for that.
yeah,
Me
the
too.
others like
So,
so
excited
the
for that
first
movie.
Nightmare on Elm Street is a good film and a good slasher.
Yeah.
But I actually like 2 for something like it's cheesy and it's not good, but it's
Yeah.
a great like 80s fun slasher.
A lot of the
You
bad
always
80s.
quote that.
horror
Yeah, like, you always
movies
get a
were
kick out of that one
good.
scene with Freddy
Oh
Krueger.
my gosh, that scene is hilarious at the pool.
Help yourself, ever.
A lot of people like 3. That was critically received well, but I actually would rather rewatch 2. I don't know
Hmm.
what it is, but
I haven't seen the others.
And then
I've only seen the first one, and then the one that we just talked about that came out this year.
yeah,
New Nightmare. Yeah.
yeah.
the
I mean,
Street
2.
Fighter comment is true.
What's that, Colin?
Sorry, the Street Fighter comment is true. I agree. It is. It's super weird and it's compellingly weird.
We
Yeah.
should have just gotten the anime.
Not
Is that
Super
the one-
Mario Bros. Live action level.
Is
which
that the one with Raul
level.
Julia in it?
Yes, I think it was his last movie.
Yeah,
Like-
and I remember when I saw him in that
He played in
movie,
Vice.
I was very concerned about him because he looked
He
terrible.
looked gaunt. Yeah.
And I was like, something's wrong with him. And it wasn't long after that he died. And that made me really sad because I liked him as
Who?
an actor. Raul Julia.
He played Mr. Adams.
He played in the Addams Family.
That's how I know him. And he's an older, more famous actor.
He will always be my favorite rendition of Gomez.
Gomez. Yeah.
He was really good. He was really good. He also played in The Rookie, which was that Clint Eastwood movie that I told you about where he was assaulted by a female.
Oh yeah.
That way, yeah, he was the main bad guy in The Rookie.
Huh.
So that was a real surprise when he passed away. You should check it out, Chris. It's pretty decent. It's surprisingly good to me, anyway.
It
Yeah,
does
I
seem
know.
like-
We were talking
like-
about that last.
Kind
We
of
were
like
talking about that last
Scream.
time.
Kind of like how Scream was kind of like the '90s horror, like kind of a commentary on horror while it was doing a horror movie. It was
Yes,
also
exactly.
it sounds kind of reminds me of that where I like.
It's like
I like Scream.
it was self-aware.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was that was well done too. That's a fun series. I'm actually looking forward to the next one that's coming up.
Oh, because he did Scream as well, didn't he? Wes Craven. Duh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He did.
That's cool.
Corey, what's going on?
I don't know what happened.
Is it your internet again or
Probably.
your phone? Oh,
It's the internet. Yeah.
oh.
Where'd Arturo go?
He
I'm here.
probably He probably turned it off. He probably doesn't want us to see how much he's looking at the Olympics while we're having this live.
No, I have
It
no.
fosters. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger in False Truths. This is True Lies.
Nice.
That's actually a cool title if you think about it. The name True Lies. I like that.
There was a HBO TV movie called Fatherland. Has anybody heard of that one?
I feel like I don't know. It sounds.
Was that about Stalin or something?
No, it's not about Stalin. It's a.
Oh wait, from '94.
Yeah, it's an alternate timeline.
It's got Rutger Hauer in it.
Yeah, it's some alternate World War II thing.
I've never even heard of this. I don't.
Neither have I. Just found out.
Okay.
It's a failure of the D-Day invasion.
In answer to your question, no, it does not. I did not like that movie at all. I thought it was ridiculous. Of course, I watched it because it's Arnold, but I was like, I'm not adding that to my DVD collection.
Oh yeah,
ridiculous.
Wasn't that the one where he's pregnant?
It was just over the top and ridiculous. And he's good in comedy. Like Kindergarten Cop, I love it. I'm not crazy about twins, but I was just like,
I did make an appearance in an anime.
Which one? Kindergarten Cop?
Not Kindergarten Cop. Twins.
Oh, Twins.
In that Blood Blockade Battlefront anime because it's set in New York and it's got all these pop culture references. From the 90s and 80s.
Not to get too off topic, but I missed 93.
You did, and we had a long discussion because it was.
Yeah, Corey, where were you?
Well, I saw it was like 4 hours. So.
Yeah, and you know what? We weren't even done because we could have gone on forever because there were so many films that I wrote down that I didn't get a chance to even bring up.
But I was going back to Arnold's comedy. Last Action Hero.
Yes.
Has to be the best. It is his most underrated movie. And maybe his best.
I talked about that a lot. How it's really underrated. That's another one that I want to watch again. I'm gonna write.
It's really good.
Do it now, Colin.
It's like another one of those. You know how we were talking about Scream or self-aware.
You gotta do it.
It's like it's an action film, self-aware. Yeah. It's like a commentary on action film. It was very well done. I finally got the Blu-ray of that. My friend Derek sent it to me. So
you gotta do it now, Colin.
Chris, I did see Killing Gunther.
Watch that one first.
I've seen it only once, and Arnold's not in it a whole lot. I thought he was good in there. It's not my favorite Arnold movie, but it was it was kind of like a black comedy. That was the way it came across to me. Killing Gunther, he plays a hitman in there, and some people are trying to kill him.
Oh yeah, that looks funny.
There was comedic in parts for sure. Yeah.
We should bring up Natural Born Killers. Have you seen that yet, Arturo? It's a Tarantino screenplay.
We
no,
talked
I
about
haven't
that,
seen that one.
No,
that came out in '94.
Brought it up. Yeah, I see it on the list.
Yeah, it is on the list.
Because it's Oliver Stone directed, and Tarantino wrote it.
And Robert Downey Jr. is in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait, really?
It says, yeah.
I forgot he's in it. I remember the stars are Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis, and that's what I was thinking Arquette was. And they're like lover killers on the road.
Yeah, I don't. If I've seen it, I've only seen bits and pieces of it. So
it feels Tarantino, even though he didn't direct it. It definitely feels like you can tell he wrote it, because it's like over the top with violence, and it's about these criminals, and it's just kind of crazy, but it's one of those I saw once and I didn't love it like I do Tarantino movies, but it was, if you like that kind of stuff, it's probably an entertainment.
It was before he got cleaned up. Okay. What part did he play, Colin? Because I haven't seen
Dangerfield's in there.
I honestly don't remember RDJ. That's one of those movies I
just
saw like 15 years ago, and I liked it because I watched so many movies one time I wanted to see everything, and I think I've smoked a lot of my memories away. But like,
no, Colin, that's not good.
I know I've seen all this stuff, but I don't remember all the I forgot RDJ was in that movie.
You don't even have to be smoking stuff to forget things like that. There's so many films I've watched that I only remember maybe like a little slice of it here and there. And so rewatching it is like watching it for the first time, which is great.
It is fun. Yeah, I agree. I wait enough time and it's new again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any other 94 movies? Because I don't know anything else, to be honest.
You know what? You gonna watch Natural Born Killers? Were you listening? You're
I-
watching the Olympic.
Yeah, were you
It's a
listening or were you
It's a
watching?
Tarantino.
Well, I heard a bit,
Tarantino
but I was
script.
also looking at what was going on in the Olympics as well at the same time.
Oh my gosh, Arturo.
Tarantino wrote it. Natural Born Killers, and it
Yeah.
feels like a Tarantino movie.
Yeah,
Did y'all talk
Oliver
about-
Stone directed it. Yeah.
Did
yeah,
y'all
go ahead.
talk about True Romance in '93?
Yes, that was brought up.
Mhm.
I've still not seen it. I don't know what I'm waiting on.
Oh, okay. So Glenn says that Dangerfield was the girl's dad in
Okay.
Natural Born Killers.
That had to
Okay.
be one of his last roles. No. Okay.
No,
I'm thinking. Never
I know
mind.
ganja can do no wrong. It's not the
Okay,
ganja.
what is that? What is ganja? Sorry.
Marijuana.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like
Yeah.
way over my head. I don't know all of the slang terms for that. I am.
There's some movies. There's definitely more movies got to bring up.
Did y'all
There's
talk
a
about
lot.
Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
We haven't even got to Pulp Fiction yet. I
Well,
was gonna bring up
sort of did, but not.
Touched on it a little bit.
Ed
Not a
Wood
lot.
by Tim Burton.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting movie.
Yeah. Ed Wood's good.
Love that movie.
Yeah, Johnny Depp, Martin Landau, Tim Burton. Like, it's a different movie, but it's pretty good because it's
Yeah.
about Ed Wood, who was like, if the story's it's about Ed Wood, and he was like one of the worst directors in Hollywood back in whatever the 30s or 40s, I don't know. And so it's this kind of dark comedy, kind of sympathetic towards this guy who's like. He's like a Michael Scott of directors. Like, he just wants to do good and he sucks.
Yeah. Like
so
Martin
it's-
Landau plays Bela Lugosi, I believe. And
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I've never seen this film. I heard a
good.
lot about it.
Yeah,
This is when they were trying to film Plan 9 from Outer Space.
right.
Yes. Which is known as
Oh.
one of the worst
That's
movies.
his
ever.
like most famous movie, but it's horrible. You know?
Until
Yeah.
The Room, right? Until
Well,
The Room.
Yeah, probably. It was like
That's
known
a
as like, the
rival,
worst
yeah.
movie ever for a
Oh
long
my
time.
gosh.
that gives it a run for its money. Yeah.
Oh, it's a Tim Burton film.
Yeah,
Did
and
that, was that
so
mentioned? Okay.
yeah, no, Ed Wood's not the worst movie. The movie that they're Ed Wood's
movie,
about,
yeah.
the movie
Yeah.
making
Yeah,
of
the
this
Plan
movie,
9
that's
from
the
Outer
worst
Space.
movie.
Yeah.
Which it's just different. It's kind of like not what you expect, but it's different and it's pretty good. And it's Johnny Depp doing good back when Johnny Depp in the 90s was cool. Even like Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp was pretty cool. But
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
Completely made that character.
Tim Burton, so
Was
it's a
that
good
filmed in black and white?
and it's black and white.
That's okay. That's what I thought. I remember seeing like references to it. And this actually has a really big cast of well-known
Is
names.
this wait?
Martin
what is
Landau,
this?
Sarah Jessica Parker, Patricia
Ed
Arquette,
Wood.
Bill Murray, and
Oh,
Yeah. Bill Murray.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Well,
Oh yeah,
A lot of
Is this-
people in here.
Ed Wood. You might like it, Arturo. It's a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah, with Johnny Depp.
I'm glad someone just mentioned Serial Mom on the
Yes, I forgot about Serial Mom. That
Oh,
movie
let me
was-
see. Let me
the
check this
movie
out.
that had Mrs. Puff in it.
Also,
Oh.
Airheads. I love Airheads. I mean, it was Adam Sandler and Brendan Fraser, who was
okay, yeah.
another.
Oh
Brendan Fraser was another like
Sammy.
of the '90s.
Yeah, Brendan
Yeah.
Fraser. Yeah.
Little Giants is good too, people.
And Little Giants was good too. It felt like it was hot on the. It felt like it was trying to be Sandlot, and it wasn't Sandlot.
Right.
But it was still a good movie. I had the VHS and I watched it a lot.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't Rick Moranis in it?
Yes.
Yeah, he was the coach.
Yeah.
Or whatever, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm looking at the name because I haven't seen this either, but I'm looking at the cast and Ed O'Neill as well.
The '90s had a lot of good like kids movies.
It
Oh,
did.
like,
Yeah,
it's just
that's
a
what
lot.
Colin was mentioning.
Yeah, it's a lot of kids movies in the '90s.
And I don't know if we've got to them yet, but the Ernest movies were.
Oh yeah, right there.
Oh gosh.
I've not really seen. I mean, other than when I was a kid, and I don't remember much of them. But I need to see the Halloween one at least.
Ernest Scared Stupid?
Yeah.
Oh, that movie gave me nightmares. Like, few
Is
movies.
that
Really?
supposed to be the
Oh,
best
yeah.
one? Or
Probably. I mean,
yeah, I thought.
I don't know. I watched that a lot and I loved it because it was like an action adventure comedy, but it also gave me nightmares. The troll was so scary and believable to me. I would always think the troll was going to get me. Like, I had to sleep with the lights on. I was a scared kid. I'm telling you, like,
Silver lining, you had Ernest in it.
I had what?
Ernest P. Worrell by Jim Varney.
Yeah. Ernest is, he saves the day. He
saved Christmas.
Makes you feel okay. Yeah. Little Women was a good movie.
Yeah, I forgot that was
Reeves,
filmed.
wasn't he in that too?
Who?
I don't know. Was Keanu Reeves in Little Women too? I feel like maybe.
No, you're thinking Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Okay, I'm not. Okay, I forgot. But I
no,
like
actually a younger Christian Bale was in this version of
that's
Little
what
Women.
I was thinking of. That's what I was thinking.
This is the last version that I saw. I'm not super crazy about the whole Little Women story, but I watched this, and then they've done another remake.
The new one got attention with the female director who's really Greta Gerwig, I think, is popular.
Okay, so the only reason I've paid attention to that lately is because Florence Pugh is in it. She plays Amy. So yeah, this thing feels like this story has been made so many times.
Mm-hmm.
I like it though. Again, a lot of these I haven't seen since the 90s or maybe not much later, but I liked it. But okay, there's a movie I want to bring up. I don't know if anyone has seen Maverick with Mel Gibson.
Oh yeah, my brother mentioned that to me today to bring that up, and I completely forgot about it. He loves that film.
I love that.
Foster or no? Who am I thinking about?
It's Mel Gibson and who?
James Garner's in it. It's a Western. He's like a gambler in the West.
So is Jodie Foster not in that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she is. Yes.
She is in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once.
It's a great action comedy.
Yeah. I think Timothy said it was like a film that just makes him feel so happy at the end, or like he just has such a nice ending or something.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite Mel Gibson movies.
Okay.
Yeah, a solid all-around movie. Yeah.
We only in passing we discussed Leon the Professional. It's been brought up a couple of times, and I meant finally, to actually. I've seen that movie only once. Gary Oldman is really good in there.
I feel like that was a movie I kind of expected to love, and instead I liked it.
Yeah,
I've been around for so long, and it's Luc Besson, who's could be awesome. He can be awesome. He can be bad.
Can be.
And early Natalie Portman and Gary Oldman, and I was so excited. And I saw it, and I was just kind of like, I mean, it's not a bad movie.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt too. Like I'd heard so much about it, and so I went in and watched it, and I was like, "It's okay." Plus, Natalie Portman's character annoyed me in there, like she annoys me in everything she's in. So
yeah, I love Natalie Portman.
That's probably part of the reason why it just. But Gary Oldman was excellent as he.
But yeah, Gary Oldman's always a draw to a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maverick's really good. Yeah, it's a great movie. I
should probably rewatch that sometime.
I feel like I remember it being cheesy, but I could be wrong.
It might be a little bit cheesy, but I think it's in a fun way. It's in a fun, like, this movie's cool.
Oh yeah.
You want it. You're happy that it's a little cheesy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I need to rewatch it.
Jodie Foster play is she like a con woman or something, or
sorta? I think. I remember they're on a riverboat.
They're on a riverboat. There's a big poker tournament on a riverboat.
Yeah.
Other Western stuff, a stagecoach, and all that. But yeah, it just moves along pretty fast. Like there's not a lot of slow dragging.
Is it me, or did like the 90s have a resurgence in Western movies?
A little bit, I would
Tombstone, think. Unforgiven,
Wyatt Earp came out this year.
There was definitely a lot. Yeah, I guess so. I guess I don't know if there was many Westerns in the 80s, but if not, then it definitely was a resurgence because there's a fair amount.
Well, Young Guns, that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. But there was also Young Guns 2, wasn't that in the 90s?
Yeah. So, I feel like the 90s had a little bit of a Western thing going on.
Big sci-fi movie from the 94, Stargate.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen that on the way through.
I want to rewatch it. I feel like it was too smart for me, and I haven't watched it in a long time. But I think I might. It's a slower sci-fi movie. It doesn't really have a whole lot of action, from what I remember. But I like sci-fi. My dad loves Stargate.
Is this a reference to Maverick? Was Danny Glover? Did he have a cameo in Maverick?
Maybe, I don't remember. And probably.
Let me see.
I totally forgot that.
I might be completely misinterpreting what that comment is about. I don't see his name in the cast, but if
I think
it's
it
a
makes
cameo,
sense, though, 'cause
might
it was
not
like
have been. Yeah.
right after
Yeah,
Lethal
okay,
Weapon.
yeah, he is talking about Maverick. He says, okay, I've completely forgotten about that. It's been decades since I've seen it. Well,
There is one I kind of want to bring up briefly. It was actually a Hong Kong film that came out in '94. I've only seen it once, but it's called Chungking Express, directed by Wong Kar-wai.
I've heard of that, and that director is really famous and really good.
oh, I see.
Yeah,
I'm
like
looking it up
he's he recently they recently did released a whole collection set of his films on Criterion. But
Is he the guy that just won the Oscar? No.
no, the
He's
one
a
who did Parasite.
Yeah, who did? He's something Woo, something
That was
Woo. Sorry to interrupt. I was thinking it was the same director. They're like two different, probably the two most famous Korean directors, I guess.
Oh yeah, well yeah, the guy who won last year is Bong Joon-ho. He's
Bong Joon-ho. Whoa.
Oh,
Okay. Ho.
Yeah.
Bong Joon-ho. Bong Joon-ho.
Bong Joon-ho, yeah. But yeah, no, Chungking Express is essentially it's like kind of a romance, but also kind of like a drama.
Crime? Yeah.
Kind of sort of a crime, yeah. There is like a crime story element to it. But one thing, and I've only seen it like once, but the one thing that stands out to me the most that I keep going back and watching it, like even if it's in bits and pieces, is how it's all set in this location in Hong Kong, which is essentially like a city inside of a building itself kind of thing. Like
Nice.
an actual place in Hong Kong called the Chungking Mansions.
Oh,
Cool.
that's different.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
It's very interesting because it's all like it's like this massive metropolitan area, but all condensed within like this like not walled off, but it's it's an indoor area, but it's like it feels like it's almost it looks like it's supposed to be outside, but it's actually
But it's inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Huh.
I like that.
That's
yeah.
different.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of that one, but that didn't surprise me. There's a lot of good international movies that I've never even heard of before. I wanted to bring up a legal thriller. If anybody likes John Grisham and his legal novels, of course, he did The Firm, and he did I think there was one we talked about, A Time to Kill, but I don't remember what year that came out. But this year, in '94, a movie called The Client came out. It was directed by Joel Schumacher.
Mhm.
I had forgotten it was directed by him. And it has Susan Sarandon and Tommy Lee Jones in it, and Brad Renfro. I read the book, I watched the movie, and that was decades ago, and I don't remember the details, just little bits and pieces of it, but not the overall story. It's pretty decent. It didn't make huge waves, but it's a decent watch if you like that type of genre.
I'm not too much into the
Legal thrillers.
legal stuff. No. not
Well,
really.
it was legal, but it wasn't really. It didn't have a whole lot of stuff going on in the courtroom, from what I remember.
Okay.
But anyway.
Oh, this is the year Junior came out too, so we don't even need to talk about Junior.
Oh, someone mentioned it, but this is the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
And what's her name? Emma Thompson. She was in that with him.
One that was. Oh wait,
It was Emma Thompson.
Let's take a movie quiz. Classic about the multimillionaire.
Yeah,
Forrest
and
Gump?
Danny DeVito. Oh, I forgot Danny DeVito was in this with him.
The Forrest Gump. Yeah.
yes.
That's finally.
Oh, is this? Oh,
Right.
this is.
Oh man. I was gonna say 294 had Star Trek Generations, which was kind of cool. It had Kirk and Picard teaming up in the same movie.
Oh, okay. That was
I
a
like
movie. Okay, yeah, I never saw that one.
I wasn't a big Star Trek fan, but I did like that movie.
This is a long ass list of movies, you guys.
It really is. Like 94 was one of the best years for film.
Yeah, for films.
And there's a lot of like family type movies that I don't want to bring them all up, but the stuff like Angels in the Outfield, you know.
Oh yeah, that
I
one.
watch that all the time. Stuff like that. I'll be right back.
Someone mentioned the movie Milk Money, and that has Melanie Griffith and Ed Harris. And I think the only thing that I remember about that movie is I can't remember if Melanie Griffith plays like a prostitute or something, but at some point she's in this classroom with the kid, the kid character, and he's got her in this like flesh-colored sort of bodysuit. And he's using her as the model to draw an example of the internal organs of the body, or like the female, or like for the class. That was the only thing I remember from that movie.
Oh, that's what. Okay.
Kind of funny. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I remember what you were talking about now, because I remember seeing like just that snippet from a movie, and I try to remember which one that was.
Now you know.
Now I know it's Milk Money.
Yeah. I saw it once. I don't remember. See, a film that maybe some might not have heard of is Fear of a Black Hat. It's like the rap version of This Is Spinal Tap. Nope, definitely.
I do like Spinal Tap.
Please go to 11.
Oh wow, yeah, that came out It came out in June. The week before Speed. So okay. Yep, I've never heard of it. And I wouldn't get the references because I don't know. I have never seen This Is Spinal Tap. The Ref?
Give you a heads up, Mom. Kaylee Ledecky did not make it.
Oh, she didn't?
Nope, she didn't get any medal.
None.
This just happened. It's live.
That's why you're so distracted. Turning around and
It
watching.
was live, and she was.
Oh, the Ref.
So she
The
lost.
The cover of The Ref looks a little familiar to me. It's a black comedy film. It has Dennis Leary, Judy Davis, and Kevin Spacey. And it shows this couple tied up in two chairs sitting back to back. Has anybody seen that movie?
What's it called?
Yeah.
I have.
The Ref. Oh, yeah. I think I may have seen this a long time ago.
In a galaxy far.
Yep.
Far away.
Very far away.
Too far away.
Oh, that must be a reference too.
Spinal Tap.
Yeah. So. Do we want to talk about our three favorite films, or?
Well, yeah, I was gonna bring up whether or not we had any other movies to talk about, but because I was gonna move on to the TV shows that came out in '94, but I guess.
Yeah, I didn't know if we should talk about our favorite films before we move on to the shows, or if there's any other films that anybody wanted to mention.
Well, let's get to it then, because I gotta pull back up the link.
So, what are we doing? Favorites or shows?
Yeah. What are we going to do? We're going to jump to shows, or are we going to talk about our favorite movies before we?
What do you guys want to do?
We'll do the movies.
I really don't have much input on shows, but
I mean, we know the big show that came out.
Yeah, that one.
Talk about Friends.
That one, yeah,
that one.
Yeah.
The one
like
with
the
person and the other.
Yeah, the one with
guy and there was the other guy and there was a lady. And, yeah, that one.
The one with, yeah.
I don't know, Rio. Arturo's the one watching it. He wants to know how is Canada doing? Are we winning? I don't know what's that in reference to.
Well, I know the Canadians won softball. I'm not sure about swimming. Australia got the gold this time.
Yeah, that's what Chris is at. Like, what sport? I don't know. I don't know what sport he was asking.
It was
about.
swimming that I was watching.
All right. So, our top three favorite movies.
Oh, that's gonna be tough.
That's just tough.
Really, you guys
There's
didn't
too
have
many
your
good
list
ones.
ready?
There are too many good ones.
Yeah, I got my list ready, like yesterday. My top three.
Well, Mom, you go first.
I'll go first since I was prepared. I was prepared. So obviously, it's not going to be any surprise to hear that True Lies is in my top three. followed by Speed, and then another movie that we have not talked about, but I have always liked, is called Time Cop. And it has Jean-Claude Van Damme and Ron Silver and the girl who played in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And it's basically about this guy. His wife dies, and he's a cop. He's a time cop. His wife dies, and he goes back in time to try to stop it. So, because it's time travel, obviously, I really liked it. So,
Oh wait,
those were my top.
Yeah, I've not seen it.
isn't that the one about his
Pretty
dad
fun.
being a firefighter?
No,
That
you're
one?
thinking Frequency,
Oh,
and that was not in '94. This is Jean-Claude Van Damme who was in it.
I don't think I've heard of this one.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've seen it. I should probably rewatch it sometime. Okay, Mike, what about you? Man, I am getting eaten up by mosquitoes in this room.
Well,
Sorry.
I will go ahead and say for my number one, it's going to be The Lion King. Primarily because, as I mentioned, first movie I saw in the theater. Also, one of my favorite Disney films. My number two is Pulp Fiction. Yeah, the movie that got me. No, Reservoir Dogs is the one that got me into Tarantino. But before then, everyone kept talking about Pulp Fiction. I'm like, okay, I need to see his films now. And number three would probably be Chungking Express.
Oh yeah, because you mentioned that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. So there comes
Now-
Simon.
oh.
How timely with the Pulp Fiction reference.
Yeah.
Hi, Simon.
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing okay. How about you?
You're moist.
Just waking
Moist.
up.
You're just waking up. Okay, so
Oh,
I can never see. Are you 5 or 6 hours ahead of us?
Hey, Simon.
It's 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, you're 5. Wait, 9, 15,
At 8.
3
8.
o'clock.
8 hours. Cross the ocean.
Well, he says
Cross
it's
the
3
pond.
o'clock there. We're almost at 10, so probably about 5
It'll be
hours.
5 hours then.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, 5 hours.
Yeah. Jeez. Arturo.
That's
Sorry,
the
Simon.
finals. That's the
Arturo is
finals.
distracted by the
Really?
Olympics.
Gold for the- Sorry.
Okay. So Mike has shared his top 3. Who wants to go next?
Wait, can I get a quick recap? Top 3.
Of Mike's?
Oh yeah, yeah. He wasn't in the room.
Oh,
when
you weren't in
guys-
the. Okay, so for mine, I went first, and then it was Mike. My top 3 were, of course, True Lies, Speed, and then a film we haven't talked about yet called Time Cop with Jean-Claude
Oh,
Van Damme. In
nice.
it. It's a time travel film. So yes, I love that. And Mike said The Lion King, and then Pulp Fiction, and then that what was the name of it again? That something Express.
Chungking Express.
Chungking Express. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, who wants to go next?
I can go. Or
okay.
it doesn't matter.
I still need to think about mine. because
Arturo's
it's
too
tough.
distracted to come up with
Okay.
a list.
Well, yeah.
I mean-
There's like it's a.
It pretty obviously Dumb and Dumber. I mean, it
Of
really
course.
could,
Yeah.
it really could switch, either day with The Mask, because The Mask is more nostalgic for me than Dumb and Dumber
Yeah.
is, but they're both right there. So
I prefer
that,
the mask. If it were me.
Forrest Gump and The Lion King.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel a lot of the similar movies are popping up with me too. Where Lion King would probably be number 3. I feel like that's the one that there's a bunch of movies in '94,
Yeah.
but I feel like Lion King is kind of a special spot for me. Like as a kid, it was one of my all-time favorites, and it's still great. And then number 1 and 2 is kind of a toss-up. Like I guess I have to put Dumb and Dumber 2. But that could be number 1. But Pulp Fiction has to be 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Well,
Pulp Fiction is going to be a favorite with a lot of people, I think.
yeah, I mean, I love Tarantino. I never really thought of having one favorite director, but like if I was forced to pick, Tarantino would probably be my favorite director. Like there's so many good ones, and there's so many like varieties of different director. But yeah, Tarantino's awesome, and Pulp Fiction's maybe my favorite. No, it's probably my second favorite movie he's done. it's just, and I mean, I don't know if I have much more to add to the discussion of why Pulp Fiction is so awesome, but it is. I mean, I still remember being like 9 years old when it came out, and I knew that it was like a huge deal. Like all the grown-ups were talking about it.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Looking at the VHS, like I would do this all the time, just staring at the VHS cover in the store, like, what's this about? Like, I want to see this. And it, it took a while, like 8 years after that, till I finally saw it. And I was like, it lived up to the hype. I was like, wow, this is so different and cool than anything I'd seen before. And
very different.
It's still good. Like, I think it's still, Tarantino's just cool. Like, his movies are just like,
they're unique.
Not boring. They're not boring. Like, there's no boring parts.
They're not super actiony, but there's something about the way he writes the dialogue and just
you're always just
you're drawn
enamored with it.
They could just be talking, sitting at a table talking, and it's just like, oh, you want to see what's going to happen next. So we saw Pulp Fiction for the first time just a couple of years ago.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah.
We
had seen it's like we went backwards with Tarantino. No, I kind of like went in the middle and out in different directions, and then finally got around to seeing.
So I think the first one I saw with him, like when I fully got in, I think it was Django Unchained. That was kind of like the start of me getting into.
That was so surprisingly fun. That movie.
Funny, yeah.
Oh, I remember when y'all watched that.
Yeah. In Django Unchained, I love Samuel L. Jackson in that movie. Like,
he was funny in that one.
Like, he cracks me up with the way he's just over the top with his.
Oh my gosh!
The looks that he gives, the angry looks he gives to Django.
Yeah, his eyes.
Perfect. Yeah,
he was playing like an older guy.
My favorite scene in Django Unchained is obviously the one that you continue to quote to this day, Arturo. That was the one where
nobody brought an extra bag.
Well,
I can't say in this effing thing.
It doesn't matter.
Jonah Hill.
Blah, 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 blah.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah, Jonah Hill.
Yeah. We weren't saying. I think I read that Tarantino was one of the dudes with the mask that doesn't take the mask off.
Yeah, really?
With the hood on, yeah.
He's
so the only
he was also an Australian guy.
He was.
He
was.
Was another. Where he was with.
He was also the Australian guy at the end too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which he took that role from someone. Oh, I don't know if I told you guys that. I feel like I got to read the Django Unchained script when I was living in LA. Like, one of my neighbor's friends or something was working on it, and they were like, "Oh, you can just borrow the script. Like, he doesn't care."
Oh wow!
And so I got to read it, and it was so exciting for me because, like, even then he was like my favorite, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, so I got to read it, and I remember that scene. Someone else was going to play that character. I think actually Joseph Gordon-Levitt was going to play that character, Tarantino, the Australian, and he had to reschedule, so Tarantino did it. And there's also a really cool scene they cut from the movie where it's a poker scene with Leo DiCaprio and Django and Christoph Waltz, and Sacha Baron Cohen was a different character. He had a role, and he made a whole poker scene with Sacha Baron in those. And so I was like, thought that was going to be in the movie, and it wasn't. And I was like, oh man.
Oh, don't you live kind of near Hollywood, Colin?
When I was in LA, I basically lived. It was like a mile from the Star Walk. So like I would just walk down there.
I saw some of your videos on your YouTube channel. I saw that you were outside and you were recording some of the Hollywood sign.
I should put. That's cool. You watch those because like I didn't realize I had those as public videos for all these years.
Now you know.
And then I was like looking at my page the other day.
Why are people watching this?
The animal video, and I was
Why
like,
do I have views?
Yeah, what's going on? So I made some of those private because I was just like, I don't think. I mean, who wants to watch these? These are private. They're made for me and my family to see, your friends. So it's cool you did watch them. I wasn't like hiding them, but it was weird.
It was like kind of a dirt road wherever you were walking around your neighborhood, and I remember you were filming a bit of that sign. Like, so I knew you lived near there, but that was like what, 9-10 years ago?
2011, 2012. I lived there. Those like a year and a half, but I was really lucky. I remember I lived in like I don't want to take up too much time, but I like this story. Is like I got to move there, and I lived in a house that was kind of like a hostel house, but it's really you rent for a month at a time, 4-bedroom, 4 people to a room, 2 bunk beds in each room. So if you can handle that, it was $500 a month, and I was right up in Hollywood, and like that where I was walking, Arturo, it's Griffith Park, which is really famous. The Griffith Observatory is famous, and I was literally like 2 or 3 blocks from the entrance. So it was almost a daily routine that I would just go walk up there. I could be at from my front door to the observatory in 30 minutes walk. And I knew how lucky I was, and I tried to make the most of it. Like, I had friends that lived with me in the house, and they were like, dude, I've been living in LA my whole life, and now that I live here, my friends are like, damn, how do you get to live there? And I just lucked into it, man. But if you can live that kind of lifestyle, like sharing with people, if you don't mind people that much, you get along with them, you can live cheap in LA, right up in Hollywood for like it's $500 a month for my rent. So, and food, all the other rent's the only thing that's expensive. All the rest of it, food, clothes, all that shit's basically the same price. So it was awesome. And yeah, I was really lucky to get to live. Griffith Park is cool because so much of LA is just urban city, concrete. And Griffith Park is way bigger than Central Park. It's this huge area with paths and hills and walkways. And so it's nice to be able to...
Terminator, the Griffith Observatory, I believe.
A lot of things have been. Once you know what it is, you start seeing it a lot.
Seeing it everywhere, I bet.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Interesting. I guess who else was going to go for their top 3? Let me guess.
I think it's you and Simon are the only ones left. I don't know if Matt Rice wants to chime in and say any, or if he's just gonna.
Sorry, the cat was running around. I had to mute it.
That's okay.
That darn cat.
Did you have a top? That darn cat, right? Did you have a top 3, Matt?
Yeah. Hold on 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to get Trace on now. Yeah, Angels in the Outfield would be number 1.
Yeah.
And then Santa Claus number 2, and then I like The Mask as number 3.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. I had a VHS of all those, and I've watched all those at least half a dozen times. So it's been a while, but yeah, those are all feel-good movies.
Oh man, this is gonna be tough for me. Goodness.
You should have come prepared, Arturo.
Well, I mean, I kind of just look at the list.
Get your head in the game.
It's hard for me to do top 10s or top 3s. Because
I just kind of go with what I instinctively feel when I'm going through the list. And so while there are several films on here that I do enjoy, like Pulp Fiction, I did like that. It's not my top 3 because I'm drawn more to the other 3.
Oh man, let's see.
I could go with what if I had to pick 3 movies to watch this week would be. I mean, maybe if there's a good reason for whatever emotional reason or whatever that I like it more, even though I wouldn't want to watch it. But generally speaking, that's kind of what I think of. Is like, man, if I had to watch 3 movies this week, what would be the least?
Right.
What would be the most entertaining?
Exactly. Which would you gravitate more towards? And that's how I kind of pick my top. It's just more gut feeling than anything else. Chris says, take a minute to watch the Olympics and collect your thoughts. Should we move on to Simon first? Because you are quite distracted.
Yeah.
No, Artur, you figure it out. I'm still.
You still thinking about it?
Yeah.
There's a lot, yeah.
Did you watch any 94 movie in preparation, Simon?
No.
No. Arturo finally saw True Lies for the first time last night.
Yeah, what do you think of it?
It's very enjoyable.
He wasn't prepared for the comedy. He thought it was going to be more kind of like with Demolition Man.
Mm-hmm.
He thought it was going to be more gritty and raw and everything, and it was quite comedic, and he wasn't expecting that. Fun film. I love that movie.
Goodness.
Tom Arnold was great in that movie too.
He was funny in there. That one scene where he's trying to talk Arnold out of, look, you're using all these resources and it's against this and this and this.
Yeah.
And he was talking, and Arnold said something about like, I'm totally paraphrasing because I know I can't remember the dialogue completely, but like something about, well, what about all the things you did? And Tom Arnold was like, "Me, I'm clean as I'm just clean as snow," or something. He said something like how he's just completely clean. He hadn't done anything wrong. And then Arnold was like, well, "What about that time that you got a blowjob during whatever mission they were on, and it screwed things up?" And then Tom Arnold was like, "Okay, yeah, take the next ride." I'll go ahead and go right along.
Okay,
with you.
so this might change in the future, but so number 3 would probably be Lion King. Number 2 would probably be The Crow, and then number 1 would be True Lies. That movie was just funny.
Yeah, True Lies has to be top 5 for me too. Like that's another one I feel like I would probably be more entertained by True Lies than Lion King today. But Lion King had such a special
impact
spot
on you
for so long.
Yeah, but it's really tough. Like I said, it might change over time.
Well, I mean, your taste in films evolves over the years. So
yeah, so
it's not really set in stone for.
Might add something else in the future for that, or if I make a top 10 list.
That's right. He was surprisingly hilarious in there.
Out of the freezer. What kind of? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like really, it took me off guard. Like I thought most of the plot had to do with them taking care of the bad people, but just went with his personal life and him wasting like valuable
all those resources
over the fact that his wife might be cheating.
Well, I remember when it started going off in that direction, you were saying something like, "Where is this going? Like, well, what about the terrorists and stuff?" And I said, "Well, it's going to come around to that." But one of the funniest lines in that movie to me was when Arnold and his wife had been captured by the bad guys, and they were tied up in that little shack thing, and they had given him truth serum. And so she decides to ask him these questions, like, to test the serum. And so finally she said something. She was like, are we going to die? And he's like, yep. And then he was going through all these ways that they might die. And she says, I'd say it's working, like the truth serum. And then she asked him, have you ever killed anybody? And he's like, yeah, but they were all bad. I don't know. There's something about that line that cracks me up.
And then the bridge part. Yeah. The bridge is out. What? And then turns.
Then she turns around and she sees the bridge.
Yeah.
There's a lot of comedy in here. I mean, they are both very good at comedy.
That was the only time I think they were cast in the movie, right?
You mean together?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only time they were in a movie together, those two.
Well, we get to see her again in action.
Yes.
In October.
I'm really looking forward to it. I hope
they don't screw it up.
Yeah.
That's one I might have to watch real soon on that site that I got.
As soon as tickets go on sale, I'm buying up tickets.
I mean, the original. I still haven't seen because you were telling me the newest remake was so good. And
Halloween! Oh my goodness!
That's probably the first thing I'm going to watch on that site.
Watch Halloween. It is excellent. So before they retconned or got rid of everything after the first Halloween, I considered Halloween and Halloween 2 and then Halloween H20 20 years later to be like a good trilogy, even though I don't like Halloween 2 very much, but it still completes the story.
Yeah.
But then if you're wanting to watch the new story, then it goes Halloween and then Halloween 2018. Yeah. And then of course they're going to have Halloween Kills this year and then Halloween Ends next year.
And I mean, it's not needed, but I like Halloween 4 a decent bit.
That's the Curse of Michael Myers, right? Is that the one that's called? No.
The first one, Returns. Return.
The Return, Michael Myers, something like that's the one with the little girl in it, Danielle. That one's decent. It is decent. And I've watched all of I've never seen all the way through that really ridiculous one with that rapper guy in it. I can't. That's more a comedy than an actual horror movie, and it's just so ridiculous. So, okay, well, we're done. Oh no, Simon, what's your top 3?
94 is packed.
Yes, I know.
That's
hard
what
to
I,
choose.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard.
What?
Let's go with Natural Born Killers.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Pulp Fiction.
We did
Had a
bring up
feeling.
Born Killers for a moment. None of
Yeah,
us
we had talked about that a little bit.
that well. I saw it a long time ago.
And for the third, I'll go either Interview with the Vampire or The Crow. I was a goth back then.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes complete sense.
That's what I was saying. Like, it feels like it was almost targeted to that like young audience, teenage, young 20s, the goth kind of counterculture, and with all the music and stuff. And I was too young at the time, but then when I got older, it felt like that was old. But I don't know. The Crow is cool. It is cool.
Chris, in answer to your question, it was for Halloween Kills that's coming up in October. It got delayed by a year, and the trailer recently came out and caused a lot of excitement, but I have not watched it, and I will not watch it until after I see the movie.
I could tell you what happens.
No.
in the trailer.
And
So,
you know
at the
what?
very beginning-
When I went to go see
Matt.
when I went to go see Old last week, they had a Halloween trailer, and so you know what I did? I sat there with my ears plugged, and I was doing this like because the theater was kind of packed. I couldn't do la 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 like I would have done if I was by myself, but I just did like this what they call I was doing this yoga breathing that they call ujjayi breathing. It's like you make a real loud breathing in your throat. So it could drown out the sounds. I probably looked really ridiculous.
Or like this girl doesn't like horror movies. She's scared. She's so scared.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They might think, "Oh,
She's been traumatized by Jason
But it was
or Michael Myers. Yeah, Michael.
But it was like I just didn't want to see anything, but I could hear her going, "Michael!" Like she did in Halloween in the latest Halloween. But I was like, I don't want to hear anything. So I probably looked really ridiculous. Yeah, she was 32. She was in phenomenal shape in that movie. I mean, but I remember in the 80s and 90s, she was always in really good shape. And that scene where she's doing that dance, it's like the perfect combination of, I don't know, sensuality, but at the same time, comedy. Because remember, she falls off she's hanging onto the bed rail and she falls over.
Mhm.
That's funny. Yeah. That's cute.
Man, she did look a little older than 32, but like then she stayed pretty youthful looking for a while.
So what?
I think she's good looking.
Was she really 32 when they filmed that?
Really?
Because when they filmed Halloween, she was 18 or 19, I thought. And that was back in the 70s.
That'd be right.
Would that be right?
78. Yeah, that'd be right.
30? Yeah, it probably would be.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a terrible judge of age.
I think it's just her eyes kind of will have that like kind of wrinkle on the side. That's what in my head. That's what I'm thinking of. It kind of looks a little older, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I guess we could go ahead and move on to the TV shows. So there's
a lot of-
there's ER. Has anybody heard of that?
Oh yes.
George Clooney. I never watched that show.
No.
It was a huge show. It's really
Yeah, I didn't either. But that was pretty big, I remember. And also Friends.
Party of Five.
like a teenager, Beverly Hills 90210 kind of thing. I believe.
Okay.
I believe. I never watched it.
Oh,
And then
that had Neve Campbell in it.
I think my mom watched that. I do like the song.
Then there's
Thank you,
My
Greg.
So-Called Life.
Yep.
Don't remember.
Oh, was that the one with Claire Danes in it?
Let me see.
Another big one, which I remember was really popular.
Got pretty good ratings.
Touched by an Angel. That was pretty popular with the faith-based crowd. They like that. What was it? Turo, what was it?
My So-Called Life.
Are you sure that was 94? Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, that was with Claire Danes.
Jared Leto's in it.
Yeah, he was real young then. Everybody
It's
was much younger than. Of
Got a
course.
good rating.
Yeah, 8.3.
What's it even about?
She's like a teenager.
Is that
Just,
Nickelodeon or no? Maybe not.
I don't know. I do remember it, and I remember noticing her, but I never really watched it. It feels like there's not as many big shows from 94 as there were from 93, because there were a lot in 93.
Yeah.
But I feel like Friends pretty much is maybe like so big it kind of.
Then there's Babylon 5.
Babylon 5.
Babylon 5.
Star Trek. Wait, no, it's not Star Trek.
No, that's
Deep Space Nine. Yeah, Babylon 5 was its own thing, I guess. I never watched it.
So what? Yeah, it wasn't connected with any of those other sci-fi things.
Yeah, it was its own thing.
Yeah.
But I never saw it. I don't know what it is.
Animated Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Animated
Spider-Man.
Bye,
Spider-Man.
Chris.
Like-
That's an early time to get up. Hope you can get some good sleep.
Yeah, I like animated Spider-Man because then for a while we got back-to-back animated X-Men and Spider-Man
Mm.
on Saturday morning. That was nice.
There was also an Iron Man cartoon as well that came out in '94.
I never saw that. I don't remember that.
I remember the X-Men cartoon. I remember that there was a Spider-Man cartoon. They made so many cartoons of these characters,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are really good.
Yeah,
the
the
Ellen-
90s. The 90s were littered with just great cartoons.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Then there was something the Secret World of Alex.
Oh yes, Secret World of Alex Mack. She turned into like Silver Mercury and on Nickelodeon. I love that.
I was trying to find that.
I love
Or
that.
the T1000 or T1000.
Yeah, she like turned into a T1000, like liquid
Oh
metal.
my gosh, that's so funny.
And then
So funny.
he would like go find out mysteries, and there was like a lab, and I think I just like.
okay.
I think I just like the girl who was Alex Mack.
The main
Then
girl.
there's
Yeah.
then there's something called Time Team.
Oh, what?
It went on until it went on about 20 years.
Oh wow, a long time.
Duckman.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that like maybe a reality type? It's a documentary reality sort of
Yeah.
thing.
And then there's the Magic School Bus, which
Oh,
Oh,
is
yeah.
that premiered this year? Okay.
I think Duckman would be something to watch. I feel like I was too young for that, but Jason Alexander is so funny, and that might be a good. I forgot about that show.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about, but I've not seen it.
It was on for about 3 years.
there's
Ellen?
something called
Colon.
Oh, yeah,
Colon of
Ellen.
Evil.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
I saw Ellen in the list.
Sister.
I vaguely remember that one. I mean, I remember it being on, but I never watched it.
Heartbreak High.
A lot of these. Well, they had an Aladdin TV series. You guys.
Oh,
Do you
They
remember
did.
that?
Got that.
oh, they did.
Okay.
Then
Yep.
there's Real Monsters, the Nickelodeon.
Oh, I loved all Real
I
Monsters.
remember it.
That's
There was actually a
Real Monsters.
All
crossover.
Real Monsters.
There was a crossover with Rugrats and Real Monsters.
I remember All Real Monsters is how I learned about the Wilhelm scream. You guys know.
Really? Yes.
Because they
yes.
use it in the theme song. So as a kid, I just started realizing, wait, what's that scream? I'm hearing that All Real Monster scream. I hear it all the
You
time
hear
now.
it everywhere.
And then I learned what it was, and then I thought it was kind of funny because it was like the classic, like the one they reference, because that's other stuff does that. So I noticed other like sound effects, like stock sound effects that get used all the time. Especially if you play video games, you notice that stuff. Like you'll hear a sound effect 1,000 times, and then you remember it every time you hear it in a movie. Like there's that sound.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Like I can always pick up on those sound or music that they use for different things. Like, where do they get it? Like, what stock site? I never.
I'm
find
sure
out.
it's just in Hollywood. I mean, it's one of those you can just kind of infer, like, oh, there must be a stock thing that they just use in Hollywood.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Especially animal sounds. Like once you peg like an animal sound, you can start hearing it all the time.
Mhm.
Oh
Do
yeah.
you guys feel like the Wilhelm? I feel like the Wilhelm scream at this point is so overused that if it's ever in something that's supposed to be a really serious, dark, gritty type of
Yeah, it
So
takes. Yeah, you can't
it
use
would
it.
take you out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
too
can't
rough.
Imagine hearing a Wilhelm scream in real life.
say what?
Which that would mess you up.
Yeah.
Right. It's like,
You-
like, "Whoa."
It's not one you ignore. Yeah. Some screams are like, do they need help? Nah. They're fine. It's not one you can ignore, bro.
That's funny.
Wasn't it in one of Quentin Tarantino's movies too? I thought I heard.
Inglourious
Yeah.
Bastards.
What's that, Mike?
It was in Inglourious Bastards in the
Oh.
towards the end.
Cool. I didn't know that.
Oh
Okay,
man,
I
I
completely
forgot
It's
forgot
in
about
all the
about
Star
that.
Wars and Lucasfilm stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Star
it's
Wars,
in-
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. We heard it recently in something. Was it in True Lies?
I think maybe, or was it in Demolition Man?
Oh, man, one of those.
It's in everything. It
It's
was
in
even in
so much.
Dragon Ball. It was even in one of the Dragon Ball episodes.
Oh my goodness.
That, and it was in cartoons, Family Guy. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
It's like probably one of the most popular Easter egg type things
The
ever.
Real Monsters theme song. It's there.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
it's in there?
Unless I'm totally off base.
I don't remember it. Yeah, it's been a while since.
Then there's Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
That was a big one.
I remember that one.
That was really funny.
Oh yeah, I have a vague memory of that.
Like interviewed celebrities, but
Yeah, that was
interviews. Yeah,
And
Was that
it was
a
on
cartoon?
Adult Swim.
Was
It
he a
was on Adult
cartoon?
Swim. a
He-
few
it
times.
was adult, yeah, like Adult Swim type humor.
he did like a Jim Carrey interview for The Mask too.
Oh
I
my
believe. Yeah.
I bet it's somewhere on YouTube. Could watch it.
Yeah.
Now there is a Fantastic Four TV show, but if Matt Ayer was here, he would talk about that one Fantastic Four film.
The one
Right.
from the 90s.
Yeah, of '94. The one
Oh
that
geez,
was.
we never talked about that.
If he
Oh,
was
the one
here,
that
he
was
would have
never
brought it
made,
up.
right?
Well,
one
it was made, but he had to get a bootleg up for it because it's not really published.
Right. It was filmed, but they didn't release it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was gonna say Space Ghost though is like, I don't know if anyone's gonna go back and watch it, but it was really funny. I feel like it might have been ahead of its time even because I think that comedy is more prevalent now. Like, but back then it was a little bit like it was a little different, that kind of comedy, which was kind of, I can't even explain it, but just really kind of like random, like really random kind of comedy, which is now it wouldn't be so different, but back then it was.
Yeah.
So what did he? Was it just interviews? That's all it was.
All I remember is that there were some crossovers with some cartoons.
Yeah, but it was like a cartoon show, and there was lots of random comedy. The kind of stuff that, like, now it would probably feel normal, but back then it was like, this is so weird and different.
Unusual, yeah.
Yeah, just kind of like non sequitur.
He's based off of like an old like superhero, right, or something.
Yeah, I think Space Ghost was a real, like, kind of, cheesy, old
like the
fashioned
50s and
superhero.
But now
then
he's
they
brought
made-
to like that's the funny part. Like now he's brought to just do like celebrity interviews, and it's like the real celebrities were on there. It wasn't just boys.
Yeah, the real celebrities, like, he would talk to like
Like,
a
he was
TV
a cartoon,
screen of a
And
live
so you
action
would see the live.
celebrity.
Oh,
So
okay.
the TV screen was talking to the cartoon,
Right.
and he just was like one of the, like, kind of a big idiot, like a big fool. Like he was funny and stupid, and didn't do great interviews or whatever.
Oh,
There's
like-
weird
like Zach
pauses,
Galifianakis.
awful silences, and just that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Like between
Yeah, it was like
ferns.
Between Two Ferns, kind of, but like the decade before.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
real quick with that show was, so like look, I'm remembering the Jim Carrey one. Was Jim Carrey actually like talking to somebody else, and they just put that clip in to the Space Ghost show? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, actually, I never thought of that. I honestly don't know.
I don't remember if it was like the celebrities were talking to like actual
Oh, if it
real
was
people, but they
edited
put that
stuff.
clip and just like
Yeah.
merged it with the Space Ghost and like trying to make
Well, I
it
feel
like a
like-
real interview, even though it
I
wasn't.
feel like they knew they were on the Space Ghost show.
Okay.
I don't think they took other footage.
Okay.
They
okay,
did
I
it
wasn't
for the
sure.
show. I just don't know
Yeah.
how they did it.
I wasn't sure. That's
Then has anybody heard of Ocean Girl?
No, I have never heard of that, but I have heard of the Tick. which
Yeah.
Savage Henry mentioned.
There's
they said
a
it was from this year.
There's a Hawkeye show from '94.
I don't know what that one's about. Aren't they coming out with a new Tick or something?
I think they already did.
Oh, did they already? Okay.
Yeah. I think.
Reboot came out.
Reboot. That was a CG. That was an early CGI cartoon, I think.
Yeah, I think Tanami did.
I didn't watch. I watched a little. I didn't like it that much, but it was pretty.
It was weirded me out whenever I saw it.
Really?
It was
Yeah.
weird, like from what I've seen clips of it. Then there's Blue Healers,
Some of these
And-
I've never heard of.
and I think there's an anime called Blue Seed VR
Oh,
Trooper.
Lonesome Dove, the series that came out 94 to 95. I remember that actually.
What Blue Seed?
No,
Oh,
sorry,
a
Lonesome
Western
Dove.
frontier show.
Yeah,
Was that Lonesome Dove?
they had made a movie because it was based on a book, Lonesome Dove, and then I guess after the miniseries came out, then they came out with the movie, but the same actors are not in it. I don't think it's like a western. Takes place a long time ago.
Then there's The Head. Look like a cartoon. And
That sounds like maybe I remember that, but I don't know.
The Head.
Rex, Inspector Rex, '94.
Yeah, I think we're getting into shows that weren't hugely known.
Yeah, then
Here.
something else here. DNA 2.
Well, it is weird how like for a few of those years, even like I remember 1989, 1990, there were so many famous '90s shows came out, started in some of those early years. So I was like, man, so many. So I guess it makes sense. Not every year would have.
Would have as many. Like last year seemed to be really packed. The '93 one. That had a lot.
Where on earth is Carmen
San Diego?
Yeah, that came out.
Oh, that's when that started? Okay.
Then it's something called Scarlet. It looks like it's got Timothy Dalton.
Okay, I remember when that came out. That was a continuation of Gone with the Wind.
Oh, really?
And Timothy Dalton. It was based on so they made a
Scarlett
sequel.
O'Hara, right.
Yeah, they made a sequel called Scarlet, and some other woman, of course, wrote it. And it was a big, huge deal at the time, but it kind of fell flat for a lot of people because you can't really recapture the same thing with it's not the same actors. And I remember when that came out, exactly. But I remember when that came out that I was thinking to myself, it'd be really cool if they could somehow use computers to put the actors' faces on the other actors' butt. This was like a long time before they even started really doing that.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that would be really awesome if they could bring back these old, like dead actors from eons ago and have them play in like a new. It may eventually happen. I don't know. It's probably a lot of legal things.
Well, I mean, they brought Tarkin back to life.
Yeah, that's right. They did. But so Timothy Dalton played Rhett Butler, and I couldn't tell you now who played Scarlett O'Hara. I don't think I watched it, but when
it's like
the audiobook, it wasn't.
When they remade Ben-Hur the other year, and I was like, why would you remake Ben-Hur? And then of course, no one even remembers the remake. It was like totally forgettable. Like and it's like why would you waste your time and soil? It just seems like just make some other movie like Ben-Hur. You don't have to call it
like they remade Magnum, they remade MacGyver. They will be so forgettable.
It's like it's like they have such a low level of creativity on their own. They have to go
like
back.
A desperate cash grab.
Yeah,
they're trying to cash in on the name too.
Yeah, that's like bad.
And it's kind of disappointing because you feel like the technology that we have today, you can make a movie look nicer.
Yeah, you can make awesome new movies. You don't have to go back.
Right. So why are you? If you want to like redo it, why don't you just take the original, maybe fix up some things that were a problem as far as the effects? Make it look nicer.
Yeah,
and re-release that instead of trying to redo it again. Like, can you not have the ability to come up with something new and original? No, we don't.
They're going to remake The Thing. Why do we need a new remake of The Thing?
Probably because they're
Are
out
they-
of ideas.
Are they really going to do that?
Yeah, I heard there
Really?
was. They
I
were
thought they
gonna-
already did another one since the Carpenter.
Okay, that was,
That
a,
was
prequel.
a prequel. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that actually wasn't too bad.
Okay, maybe I
But
didn't see it.
it wasn't a remake. It takes place right before the events of the thing. So at the end of the prequel, that dog is running off.
Wait, who's in the prequel? Is anyone famous in it?
I think Mary Elizabeth
Winstead.
maybe, and also Joel Edgerton.
I gotta write this down. Maybe I haven't seen it. I like the Carpenter one so much.
Yeah, that was a prequel.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Was it okay though? It wasn't bad.
I thought it was decent. There's a lot of references to what happens in, like, because I think you see some of the same things that are referenced from the original movie
Mhm.
because it takes place right before. Don't they go to some of the same places that the other people had been to?
Yeah, like
something.
the room where I think the thing hatched or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And
And then, of course, the tie-in with the dog at the end. Then the dog runs off. And then, of course, if you pick up with the thing, the dog comes. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, my gosh. She almost fell.
Ooh.
Jeez, I'm sorry. Sorry. Jeez. I hit my chair, and it kind of startled her, and she jumped. And in the process of jumping, she almost fell right off the chair. Jeez.
I like Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I like her. She was
Yeah, I'm
in.
pretty sure that was her.
She's in Fargo, which again is like the best show. The TV series Fargo. It's so good. She's in
I've
one
heard
of
it's really good.
No, it's like my favorite. Yeah.
Is it still going on? I haven't watched it yet.
There's a
He just kind of the seasons aren't connected. Each season's a standalone story, like in a different decade.
Oh, like an anthology, like American Horror Story is.
Yeah, it's like that. So I guess whenever he's done, he doesn't know if he's gonna do. I heard that he's thinking he might do one more, like season 5, and that'd probably be the last one.
Oh wow.
But yeah, it's an anthology, so you can watch one season at a time, and they're all
Okay.
so good. But 2 is, I think, season 2 of Fargo, the TV series. I don't know, barely anything that touches it. To me, it's kind of like perfection. It's so good.
Has anybody heard of Bump in the Night?
That sounds familiar to me.
Looks like it might be a stop motion, but I'm not sure.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe it doesn't sound
Well,
familiar to me then.
That's a show.
It's a '94 show. Yeah.
And it almost sounds like maybe I need to look that up.
Bump in
Okay,
the Night.
yeah, I did see that. Yeah, a Saturday morning cartoon with
Oh, it
the
was a cartoon.
green and blue claymation, whatever. Yeah, I remember. I feel like I liked it, but I didn't love it. Like I watched it, but I don't remember a lot of it.
Something here called Wild Cats.
Wildcats. Okay, I'm looking these up.
You know, CAT.
We're getting.
Oh, this is just reminding me of
I
Matt.
think he's digging
to
way
record.
down in the, like, probably at the bottom of the list.
the
at this
mud.
point.
Yeah.
Definitely not some, because I think the ones up closer to the top are the ones that are probably the more popular ones, and then
They include some animes on here too.
You're not gonna have as many like good shows as you do good movies a year.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
But yeah, that might be about it for unless you guys remember anything
Oh,
like
someone-
any show from.
Grimes says he'd heard of Bump in the Night. Creep me out because claymation.
Yeah, it is kind of. Yeah,
Yeah, look like claymation.
Claymation did. Yeah, it's not for everybody. It takes a lot of work though. I like Wallace and Gromit. That's some of my favorite claymation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did
those
y'all
are
talk
good.
about Nightmare Before Christmas '93?
Yeah,
Yes.
we did talk about that.
We
one.
did bring it up.
None of us were a big fan of that, right?
I never
never-
saw it really. All
yeah.
the way.
I know it was good.
Okay.
You liked it, Mike? I know a lot of people really like it.
It's really like gotten more popular, I think, over the years, or took a life of its own.
It's in the
I mean, it's
Kingdom
always
Hearts.
I think probably, but yeah. I mean, I loved it as a kid, and I like it now. So, but I think it's gotten this more bigger following for some reason.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wallace
but-
and Gromit creep me out too. Well, it is a little creepy, just the way the
didn't mind
characters are
that.
designed. But the story, I don't know, there's something about it was kind of cool.
I do like stop motion. Like that's really fun, but goodness, it is tedious.
Yeah, because you're still working on your stop motion series.
Yeah, the thing with that is, I have a setup, and you have all these toys.
Corey, you
gotta
need to
move.
come back over and do some filming.
I know.
Artur needs to do some more filming of the evil general.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I'm gonna
And I told him how I had to change some stuff because
I can't work in those conditions. Can't work in those conditions.
Well, like I told him how I'm gonna like.
I never got my toaster strudel with cream cheese. In my Perrier water.
I gave you some posters. Come on.
I asked for a sesame seed bagel with cream cheese. And I get a pair of gloves I'm supposed to wear the whole time.
Oh, that's right.
But that's your character.
Make me sick.
In a hot, uncomfortable costume you have
Yeah.
to wear with that black leather jacket hanging over.
I asked for Fiji water.
Oh,
I get tap water.
you're such a diva.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, like
I
stop
hated being in
motion.
this thing.
It's fun but tedious, especially if you got a lot of things you would need to move at once.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm having
Like
to
that.
take
I watched part of that. I mean, you did some good. I thought it was pretty cool. Some of the stop motion I saw.
Oh,
Pretty good.
I mean, it all pays off in the end. It's just goodness.
Yeah.
It takes forever.
I don't
Like,
have the
had
patience for it. Yeah.
well, when he does it, he basically takes part of different rooms of the house hostage and blocks it off.
Yeah.
And so we have to block it off
Caution
from the
tape.
dogs. And yeah, it's like, so it's like, when will you be
Crime
done filming? We've got a question for you, Corey. Joe asked if you're still doing reactions. He couldn't find the page the other night.
I mean, yeah, I've still got that YouTube up. I've just not put up a
guys
video in a while.
Haven't filmed anything. You guys were on a roll.
Yeah,
Now
we need
you
to.
got to get back to that because
You
you're gonna. It might
busy?
start to decline after a while.
Have you just been too busy?
Yeah, I mean, just busy and just put it on the back. I really just got to get back in the groove of doing it. You know.
Your
Just
other
gotta-
channel is really, really close to 1,000.
I know that's the one I want to get back to more so, but
Yeah.
I really want to get back to both of them. I just
Who's that?
got to get in the groove of it.
I
Who is
don't know what is he. It's one of his toy soldiers
Always
from
Cobra.
his Toy War
nice.
It's a
series.
Cobra toy.
Okay. Yeah, he's
G.I.
been
Joe.
buying all these toys.
I've been on like
For
I've been
his-
buying
for
these
the
Cobra
show.
soldiers for the toy war.
Some of
And
those are not cheap if you got the '80s ones, but
I was
Yeah.
really into toys. And I never got to yet.
I
That
got
was
some
like
of these
one
custom ones. They're pretty cool. They're probably a little cheaper than the '80s ones, but still,
Yeah.
yeah. Like some of them go up for $100 and something. It's ridiculous.
yeah,
The white ones do too. They're even worse.
yeah.
I'll try to find it for you, Joe. I don't remember. Corey, what's the name of your channel?
The movie. channel?
Who's right? Who's wrong?
Oh, it's called Who's Right,
It's
Who's Wrong.
Who's right? Who's wrong? Yeah.
Yeah. The music one. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
That's the music reaction one. And the
Oh, music reaction. Cool.
Corey, you need to do a reaction of the
I love
evil
music.
general singing that song.
Dang, Corey, you guys have like almost 4,000 subscribers already. Arturo is
Wait, can I ask, like, what kind of music do you react to?
I mean, my
Remember-
favorite is '80s stuff, but it's really just everything on there. So
Yeah, Corey is like literally toppled me after I've been on YouTube for about
poor
close
Turo.
to
He's
12 years now.
been
Yeah,
on
but-
YouTube for so long.
I mean, reaction videos. You know, I don't know. They tend to do well.
They do.
It's all about the content that you're reacting to gets the most clicks, really.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I mean, and then as you as the hostess just has to be not annoying. It's more like don't be really likable, just don't chase them off.
Right.
That's how I think of it. I don't know. I'm also weird with stuff. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I need to get back to it.
Yeah, you're on a roll on there, my boy. You definitely should.
You're welcome, Joe. Those are both of his channels. His one called Corey Michaels Movies, where he just talks about different movie stuff and retro stuff. A lot of your stuff is retro, and he gives you a tour of his little area there behind him, which is like a whole.
Wait,
Set
it's
up.
a mess right now, but
Is it a mess right now?
that's
well.
another thing. I've got to clean up down here. That's
Well-
another thing.
I was curious, Corey. So, are you gonna use that like as sort of your studio?
Yeah, I mean, I think like me and that buddy we need to reorganize some stuff down here because it's just a mess. So I can't really like this behind me's neat,
Nice and neat.
but this way not so much.
Okay.
Yeah, confined. This
Yeah.
little box right here. Yeah. this
Yeah,
little-
kind of like my office.
Yeah.
This is the neatest place in my
Right.
office. Everything beyond here, like I still have the Terminator. I got this display from the theater. One of Arturo's managers, when Terminator Dark Fate came out, he dismantled the display and he gave me the letters that say
Nice.
Terminator. And they're like, like they're big cardboard things, but I'm
Yeah.
thinking what I'm going to do is take off the top of them and just paste them on a poster board, put it up here somewhere.
That's so fun when you
All those-
work at a movie theater and you get like dibs on that stuff sometimes.
Yeah, he does
The
get
same
dibs on that
manager
stuff.
gave me this. He actually saved this one for me.
Oh,
That's
Ken
awesome.
saved that for you? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got so many posters.
Yeah.
I haven't brought my Thanos, not Thanos, the Iron Man glove poster down here yet. I want to
Nice.
put that back
Oh,
there.
yeah, I have that too.
So, yeah.
Wish I knew
So-
somebody that like was in the theater in the '80s and had some of that
I
stuff.
know.
Oh
right?
yeah, my
That'd be cool.
one of my managers. He's probably the oldest there.
Oh, yeah, you
Robert,
told me.
Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert.
I think he has collected
What's he
most
got?
of like he's got a lot, and apparently now some he might have given like at the time for ushers to just take, but he said he's collected a lot of posters, so now he's thinking on selling. I'm like I'm
bet they're
willing to
worth-
take any off your hands. I'm willing to buy. Like if he's
Yeah.
got maybe an
Ask him
episode,
if he's got a Goonies one. Really love
Oh yeah, Goonies.
I'll ask
yeah.
him. Yeah.
it.
Wow.
Or if he'd want to sell it if he had one.
He also got some of the Pokemon cards too, so he's thinking on selling those because those are like going up on price,
Hmm.
at least on eBay. Yeah, I'll ask him about that. So, how would we rate 94, y'all?
Probably the best year of the '90s. I mean, if I had
Really high. Yeah, top. I mean, I have to look at the. I don't know what's.
I
ahead.
mean, we get it. Terminator 2 wasn't this year, but
Well,
overall, I think
So of what we've done so far,
True Lies, Mom. Come on.
I know. Well,
I think '94 is the better year.
I kind of
overall.
feel like, honestly, I feel like there were more notable films in '93 than there were in '94.
You think so?
I feel like, but maybe it's just because I didn't study this list as much as I had last week. But I know there were definitely a lot of films that
mean,
made
there's
a
some
bigger splash. Probably.
Heavy hitters though. Pulp Fiction, Shawshank.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump, Lion King.
I mean,
The Crow.
I
There's
think
a
they're kind
lot.
of comparable. I mean, because Jurassic Park and Schindler's List too, where there's some real big ones.
Yeah.
I don't think one really outclasses the other, but I give it to 94 because for me, like I was gonna say for 94, my top three that I mentioned, Lion King and Dumb and Dumber and Pulp Fiction, like those movies were not just like big movies for this year, but of like the whole decade or my whole
Right.
life. Those are
Yeah.
like I can't say those are as high as it gets, pretty much. So like,
It's like there's such upper echelon in '94. Not that there isn't in the others, but like just those Forrest Gump, Shawshank, and Pulp Fiction, just really, I don't know. They're like top tier of the whole decade. You
Yeah, a
know?
lot of good stuff.
yeah, it's a top one for sure. I think.
Yeah, it's up there. I think Simon feels like '99 is the best year. Was
Yeah,
was
Yeah,
that
but
you,
I'm
Simon?
pretty sure 99 is like I don't remember the other ones until we get through them. Will I remember them enough?
I just remember The Matrix, right? Was The Matrix in '99 and
99.
was Gladiator also '99?
Or else 2000.
2000.
That was 2000. Okay, they were filming it in '99. That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, 99 was big. Fight Club.
Oh yeah.
They were filming They were filming Snatch, I think, in '99.
Okay,
Yeah, that was 2000. Yeah.
but it didn't come out until
That's another good Guy Ritchie movie. That's
yeah,
really good.
that movie. Oh my
That
god,
one's like Timothy's favorite, right?
that movie's so funny. I don't
That's
know.
right.
It's his favorite Guy Ritchie. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? I got to write down on my list. I'm making this list. Was it Gentleman and the other new one?
Oh, The Gentleman. Yes.
The other one?
Gentlemen, Snatch,
Wait,
Wrath of Man.
Wrath of Man. Yeah. Oh, that one's really good. That doesn't have your typical Guy Ritchie feel to it.
Okay.
like
So
how
good though.
Snatch or how The Gentleman and some of
Right.
his other stuff, but it's still very well done.
Okay, because man, I was gonna say like with Guy Ritchie, his first two movies were so good. I was so excited for him as a director, but then like he took like a dip for me, where he's never. I kind of wrote him off since then. So now since you guys saw these new two movies, I really want to get back to because he did. I mean, Swept Away. Don't even mention it. Forget it.
I know he's got some stinkers for sure.
But it's like Rock and Rolla just fell flat for me. Rock and Rolla fell
Really?
flat.
I haven't seen that yet.
Sherlock Holmes was good, but it was Hollywood. It felt like he was just doing it as a job. I mean, he brought some to it, like the Sherlock Holmes movies with RDJ. They were solid, but they didn't feel like his movies.
Guy Ritchie, yeah.
Like Tarantino always feels like Tarantino movies. They felt like he kind of collabed with those. But then, I don't know, I guess he done one or two others that I was like, I'm not excited anymore. Because those first two were so exciting. Lock, Stock, and Snatch. So
The Gentleman feels more like Guy Ritchie from back then, as far as the way the movie's constructed.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
There's a lot of back and forth in Snatch, all these different people that it's showing, and then different jumps in time that you see. The Gentleman is a lot like that.
Right.
Wrath of Man, I think, came from another story, not necessarily directly Guy Ritchie.
Right.
But it still has it's got his feel with some of the back and forth sort of stuff that you see.
Yeah.
But so that doesn't feel like original Guy Ritchie like The Gentleman did, but I still like them both.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch them. I'm more excited for The Gentleman, but I'll watch.
Yeah, you'll probably like.
Oh yeah, Gentleman was like my kind of. I mean, I've seen Sherlock Holmes. That was kind of, I guess, the first Guy Ritchie movie I saw, but like original, like film of his, Gentleman was like spot on.
Cool. Oh, Charlie Hunnam and Hugh Grant and Matthew McConaughey and the girl who played in Downton Abbey, they were all in there. And the guy who plays Henry, what's his name? Henry Golding. He's the dude who plays in the Snake Eyes movie.
Oh, really?
And he also played in Crazy Rich Asians. Yeah. He's in there. He was the bad guy. He was the one of the really bad guys. That was him. I don't want to say too much about one of the bad things he was getting ready to do.
No spoilers.
No spoiler
alert. I need to watch that. Now that I have that site, I haven't tested it out, but I got that link I have saved that I'm meaning to get to. Gentleman and Halloween remake. I'm gonna get to those real soon.
But you said you haven't seen the first Halloween?
The original one?
Yeah.
Very first one? Honestly, maybe. I don't remember it if I have.
Okay, you should rewatch that. Yeah. That was like one of the that's almost like that film and the way it was put together. I don't know if they do this, but I feel like that should be something that is studied in film class.
Really?
What he did with that film on such a low budget and just so much interesting trivia about that. I could talk on and on about that thing too, but I'm not going to. But it's really cool, really interesting, and very well done.
I'm more excited about the new one though. I'll probably watch the new one.
Halloween Kills was really good, but it takes place many years after the first one, right? And her character is having serious PTSD, and she's a very damaged human being because of what happened to her.
Goods lady.
Say what?
Arnold. You damaged goods lady.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. I was actually thinking about that.
He said that in the movie
to that
too,
girl.
Alex.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Well, I guess it feels like we're kind of coming to the end of this discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say 94 was a good one.
Yeah, Joe had mentioned, I don't know if anybody saw it, but he mentioned that it's routinely cited as one of the best years in film history. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think it had a lot of variety and new stuff. I guess we don't really touch on, which is the boring, critical, technical, like, new ground is being broken. I feel like we touch on that a little bit, but there's, you could get more into some of that, but it's not as exciting to talk about.
Well, it's all about how it impacts people, You know, whether
Yeah.
or not whatever new technical stuff, and you know, the film professionals can talk about that, but it's how does it impact the audience?
Right.
Maybe
I
the audience
totally
can't
agree with
always put it into good words as to why it had such an
Yeah.
impact.
Like
You know?
I like most anything that interests me, to be honest. I can't really say which is like I can't even say I have like a great movie of all time. You know,
It's hard. I can't. I mean, at this point, I have some that I pick, but it's never really. There's too much variety. I feel like too much
it's
awesome.
same with video games or animes. I can't really say something that's like my top tier.
Yeah.
So and so. I just can't. I don't think I can. It's too
Yeah.
hard.
I definitely can't do that with music. There's too many good songs.
Well, with you, Mom, it's Terminator.
Well, with movies, it's easy. Okay, that's just there's.
I think it's harder with music. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think definitely because there's so much variety. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So, but yeah, with movies, I've had no problem. I can't do that with a series. I couldn't tell you what my absolute favorite series is.
I can do that though. I can say there's one series that for me it stands above all other TV series and movies. And I think I said it before. Cowboy Bebop. That's for me.
Oh, Cowboy Bebop.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That is better than everything. It's my favorite thing.
I still haven't seen that yet, and I've heard a lot of good things about it.
They're making a live action.
I know. I heard.
Got interrupted, and I'm almost just like,
man.
oh man. I almost wish they wouldn't because it has the biggest shoes to fill in my mind. So in my mind, it's like I don't want it to. I don't expect them to live up to it. I just hope they don't really drop the ball and
Screw it up.
I hope it's just passable. And I'll be okay.
It's hard to take anime or manga and turn it into a really good live action.
Yeah, because it's
movie.
so expensive to do.
Alita Battle Angel was good.
Alita Battle Angel was one of the few.
And that's the thing why I like Cowboy Bebop. If you watch it with kind of a more critical eye, that you're kind of not just a cartoon, but you're kind of taking it a little more seriously, and you're looking at like would it cost to do these shots from a live action, shot for shot live action remake, it would cost billions. That's why it's so cool, is they really can be creative with the direction. I think there's a lot of underrated direction in framing and in that show. That is really, it is also just action packed and music and story. It's really fun and cool. And yeah, it's like, I don't know how they could do it live action, do it justice.
I guess we'll see. Well, I hope for your sake it turns out pretty well. I'm only casually interested in it, but I probably will eventually check out the live
I'll
action
say, Mom,
version.
it's more of like it shows what they do on a day-to-day basis, bounty-wise.
Yeah.
There are points where the main guys past starts to catch up to them a bit.
Yeah, occasionally. But it's more like the day-to-day. They're just hanging out in their spaceship going from bounty to bounty.
No, slice of life then.
There's a little bit of some pop culture references in some of that.
There's a lot, actually. There's a lot. There's a lot that I don't pick up on, and I'll rewatch it later and realize there's more. Because there's a lot that are from the 60s, 70s, 80s that I don't even know what they're referencing.
Oh, okay.
Because it's really like influenced by Western, like a lot of Japanese stuff, but they like kind of do homage to a lot of their references.
The guy that directed it, he actually came here to Raleigh about 6 years ago, but I know he was more like inspired on pop culture over here. I think he wanted to be a film director, but it ended up where fate had it that he would start directing anime instead. So
that's cool.
Oh,
he did an awesome job.
Steve Bloom came too.
And Steve Bloom's the main character, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
Watching Robotech disc box set, is that an anime? Robotech?
That is an anime, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, 90s, I feel like anime was like at its height in the 90s.
At its height, you think?
I would think because it started to kind of come over here a little bit, and I just think the art style and stuff starting to get better. I like animes from the 90s.
I feel like now it's at its height almost.
Oh yeah, to the point where it's taken over the comic book industry.
It's like more mainstream.
No.
Yeah, it's gotten big, really big. They're even referencing it in the Olympics right now.
Oh yeah, because it's in Japan.
Even the video games too.
Yeah, they got all
there
that.
was a song So in one of the swimming events, there was a song, and at first I listened real closely, and I'm like, that sounds like it's from Gundam. And I was right. It was. They were just playing these random songs.
Nice.
And then that Mexican gymnast did a dance to Demon Slayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so cool. I love the Olympics and I love Tokyo. So it's
There was
exciting.
even a Mario sound effect that went off whenever they threw the basketball in the.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Oh, I wanted to tell you, Arturo, I'm a little disappointed by Mario Odyssey. But
Really? You are?
I can see why it's a great game and a lot of people would like it, but it's just not my style. It's really sandboxy and open world, which like I love in Zelda. It's my favorite part. But in Mario, the worlds are really small. The core game to beat Bowser just takes like 10 hours. And then the rest is just go explore and find stuff for fun. And so like it's fun and there's cool original stuff and fun gameplay, but it's essentially easy and short is my problem. I was kind of expecting a bigger, more epic. Yeah, I don't really like those things where it's just like go collect everything. And I'm like, but why? It's like, oh, because it's fun. And it's like, I already beat it. I just beat Bowser, and so it's not a bad game, but it's short and easy.
My sister has beaten it, and she's kind of like trying to 100% it right now. I haven't even played it yet. I own it. I just got a lot of games I'm playing.
Stuff. I just played at the end pretty much because I just can't backtrack that much. Yeah. But I don't know. It's the only 3D Mario. I haven't even played any 3D Mario games, so I don't know.
There's games that you really have to backtrack a lot on. Like those could be some. It just depends on what it is, really.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I like Smash Bros. A lot more. I love Smash Bros. Anyways, that's my Mario review.
That was a quick one.
Now you know how you feel.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I'll find out if I like it or not when I play it. I need to get back into some more game reviews whenever I finish up the ones that I'm already doing. Yeah.
Okay, I think my ratties are getting hot, so I'm gonna have to sign off from this. Go put them back in their cage.
All right, it's always fun, you guys. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, this was fun, guys.
Let you guys know when
94.
Yep,
95.
94.
Oh, now, Arturo, you're gonna have to find something cool. Saying you got to recommend. I forgot to find something for Arturo to watch.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at the list of 95 movies to refresh my memory. I don't know.
There's a lot, though.
I don't think there was an Arnold film.
Wait, did we look at 95 last time? Because now I'm remembering telling Arturo to watch Usual Suspects, and that didn't come up today. Is that like I was telling Arturo to watch Usual Suspects?
No, Usual Suspects was
but it didn't
my
come
brother
up.
and I talked about that the other day, and that was later in the 90s. Maybe
it must be 95. But remember that last week or like 94. You got to watch Usual Suspects. I must have looked at the wrong list.
I think
there's also overlap.
I'm gonna look it up right now just so we know. But I think
we'll watch Usual Suspects then, Arturo, because it's a classic.
94.
Okay, that was 95.
Yeah, watch that one. There's my recommendation. Watch Usual Suspects.
Timothy loves that movie.
It's really good.
Okay, I'll check that.
Your brother has good taste.
Yeah,
I keep agreeing with what you say.
Yeah, he does. He does. He's a lot of. I mean, we don't always agree on. Like his favorite movie is Shawshank Redemption. I agree, it's a good movie, but it's not my favorite. But yeah, we both like the same things pretty much equally.
Cool.
So. All right. Well, this was very fun.
Yep.
Thank you everybody for showing up. Thank you everyone for participating. And
this was fun. Yeah. We'll figure out 95 eventually.
All right. Let me know.
Oh, can you hang on after this, Corey? I just wanted to chat for a little bit after I put the ratties away.
Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and end broadcast.